3-yard touchdown pass and over.
Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's C-Dot.
Let's do this. Another day, another dollar, another edition of The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. My name is Carrington Harrison. Excited, thrilled, delighted to be here with you on this wonderful, wonderful Tuesday. Out of the 10 inmates that escaped from a New Orleans prison, they have caught 4 of them. We will update you on this story. This is the story that I am most intrigued about right now in the world. So we will have daily updates on this show until all of them are apprehended. We got a long summer to go here. Congratulations to the Royals. They won yesterday. Kris Bubic continues to be one of the biggest surprises in all of Major League Baseball. We'll see if the Royals can continue their winning ways coming up later today. Josh Vernier is going to be on the show coming up in exactly 1 hour on today's show. We're also going to be joined by Mark Sharp. Mark Sharp is in the Missouri House of Representatives. The House of Representatives voted yes on this bill. The Senate voted no on the bill that would help fund a new stadium for the Royals and renovations for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk to Mark Sharp about that coming up in 2 hours. Very happy to have him join us on the show today. We got a lot to get into in today's show, but I need you guys to do me a couple of favors. Number one, I need you listening to the show each day at 2 o'clock right here on 96.5 The Fan. And number two, I need you to tell one friend. I mean, it'd be great if you could tell 2 friends to check out the show, but you know what? I'm not going to be greedy. If you guys could just tell one person to check out the show, you know what? I would appreciate that very much. Let's get into one of the top stories today in the National Football League. We've kind of reached that pocket of slow period where there's not a lot of news coming out of the National Football League. It is either contract news or criminal news. That is just about it right now when it comes to the National Football League. This is a story about a contract. Joe Thuney has signed an extension with the Chicago Bears, an extension that would pay him $17.5 million. So to give you the full scope of his contract, it is now 3 years, $51 million with $33.5 million fully guaranteed at signing. Now, we have not gotten the full scope of the deal, so we don't know all the details. I'm guessing, like most of these contracts, it's going to have a low cap number for this upcoming season, and you're going to push the money to the 3rd year of the deal. But you feel really good about Joe Thuney for this season. You obviously feel very good about it for next season, and then you'll see from there, and it will likely have an out if the Bears want an out 2 years down the line to get out of that contract and move on. Honestly, this is what I thought the Chiefs were going to do. The Chiefs were clearly at a crossroad. Your contract is expired heading into that last year, and if you're a player like Joe Thuney who is going to command a raise, heading into that final year of the deal, that is when your organization is likely going to make a decision. Is this a guy that we want to extend? Is this a guy that we want to pay? Or do we want to move in a different direction, and do we want to trade this player? Now, we obviously have the answer from the Kansas City Chiefs. They made the decision to move in another direction. But if we could go back, and I'm not going to play the hindsight is 2020 game, I thought that the Chiefs were going to reach this extension with Joe Thuney. I believe he was their best offensive lineman. We're talking about a guy who has Hall of Fame credentials, a guy who has shown you the ability to play multiple positions. And if something goes wrong at left tackle, you certainly don't feel worried about moving him over to play that position and you figuring it out from there. So that's what I thought the Chiefs were going to do. I thought they were going to reach this extension that the Bears did and try to get his cap number a little bit more manageable. As we are heading into the offseason for the Kansas City Chiefs, there are still 2 major questions that have to be answered. Number one is, are they going to end up paying Trey Smith this offseason? Because it is obvious what the Chiefs decided, and I don't fault them for making this decision. You had to make a decision about your left guard from a financial standpoint and your right guard from a financial standpoint. Now, I believe their left guard was better than their right guard, but their right guard is coming off their rookie contract, and their right guard is 25 years old. Their left guard is 33 years old and is probably entering the last major contract of his career. So I don't fault the Chiefs for making the decision on taking the younger, healthy player in Trey Smith and investing more into him. I think that's probably the right decision to end up making. But we just saw that the Bears were able to reach a contract, albeit an easier deal to make with Joe Thuney, and the Chiefs are still trying to figure it out with Trey Smith and what that financially is going to look like for them. He is in line to get a pretty decent amount of money. He is the only player in the NFL who has been franchise tagged. So Trey Smith is in line to get what the kids would say, the bag. You have committed to giving Trey Smith a pretty decent amount of money for this year. So think about it like this. Joe Thuney right now is in line to get $33.5 million guaranteed over the next 3 years. Trey Smith is guaranteed to get $23.4 million for just this upcoming season. And if your organization has committed to giving you this much money, you are not anticipating making less than that heading into this year. So either you make the 23.4 or they guarantee you $55 million when you sign whatever long-term extension that they come to. But right now, it's not as much about the long-term extension from the fully guaranteed point. It is about getting that cap number down for this upcoming season to give you the flexibility to do some other things. You do not want your right guard on a franchise tag heading into the season at $23 million. There's no maneuvering that. There's no moving that money around. There's no restructuring if we're talking about the franchise tag. No, the price is the price, and you owe him $23.4 million, and you can divide that up into game checks. I think the Chiefs want to avoid that. If you're Trey Smith, you obviously want to sign a long-term deal and guarantee yourself more than the $23.4 million. So question number one for the Chiefs this offseason is, you have the only player in the league that is currently under the franchise tag. Are you guys prepared to pay that player? Are you guys prepared to reach a long-term extension with that player? That's question number one. Question number two, and we have no way of being able to answer this until probably October. The Chiefs clearly made a decision. Last season, they had nothing but uncertainty on the left side of their offensive line. And at the end of the year, they found a little bit more stability. Now, that obviously wasn't enough. We all watched the Super Bowl, but the Chiefs are making the decision that they believe Joe Thuney at left tackle and having Caliendo at left guard, they think that they have made an upgrade. Now with going out to get Jalen Moore, you made the draft pick with Kingsley Suamataia. You move him to where he is probably best suited at playing left guard for you. And you have paid real resources over there on the left side. Maybe Josh Simmons ends up starting. I don't know if he's going to be healthy at the start of the season to be in this conversation. And you also gave Jalen Moore $21 million for this upcoming season guaranteed. So something tells me you want everything to work out where he is at least going to play this season, and you didn't give him $21 million to be your break in case of emergency player. But the Chiefs made a clear decision. You had two options. You could have kept Joe Thuney. You could have signed Jalen Moore, and maybe you let Trey Smith walk in free agency and you put Kingsley Suamataia over there at right guard and you move forward. That's not the decision that the Chiefs wanted to go with. They made the decision to go with Jalen Moore, Kingsley Suamataia, and pay the younger Trey Smith. We'll see if that works. For all the optimism that you can possibly have about the Chiefs' offensive line, I don't know if there is a reason to be overly positive. I also don't know if there's a reason to be overly negative. I think we are truly in a wait and see moment with their offensive line. We don't know. Jalen Moore hasn't played enough. There isn't enough of a sample size and a body of work to tell you how that experience is going to go. It's one thing to play in 4 or 5 games. It's another thing to play in 17 games and maybe 20 games when we're talking about the Chiefs, a team that routinely goes deep into the postseason. I don't know how Jalen Moore is going to respond to playing 20 games this upcoming NFL season, week in, week out. Can he stay healthy? The physical grind, the toll of now being the starting left tackle for a team with the expectations of the Kansas City Chiefs. He is certainly going to be tested this season, Look at their schedule. Look at the teams that they go up against. Look at the pass rushers that they go up against this season. We will have our answers soon enough if Jalen Moore is ready to be an every down starter in the National Football League. But I wanted to start today's show talking about at least what I thought was going to be the plan this offseason. If we could rewind and go back to the beginning of the offseason, I thought the plan was going to be to extend Joe Thuney, similar to what we saw the Bears do, let Trey Smith walk in free agency, use that money on left tackle the way they did with Jalen Moore, and maybe put a little bit more resources on other places on the roster. Maybe go spend a little bit more money on running back, maybe spend a little bit more money on wide receivers, spend a little bit more money on pass rush. That is obviously not the decision that the Chiefs decided to do with. And obviously, we will see as the year progresses, as the offseason progresses, and as the year progresses, if the Chiefs ended up making the right decision. But the Bears, they are all in on offensive line improvements. They went out and they got Jonah Jackson. They also got Joe Thuney. The Bears are one of the more improved offensive lines in the National Football League. Coming up on the other side, J.J. Piccolo was on the midday show earlier today. We'll play for you what he had to say about top prospect Jack Caglione. That's coming up. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Cosentino's food stores are celebrating 77 years of serving Kansas City. Come in today for incredible anniversary savings across the store. You'll find some of the hottest prices of the year, now through May 20th only. From fresh produce to family favorites, don't miss the unbeatable prices at every Cosentino's location. For 77 years, it's been our family's honor to serve yours, and we're just getting started.
Harris Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in guaranteed prizes Saturday, June 28th to celebrate Mid-Year's Eve. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold, hard cash at midnight. Plus, leading up to the big finale, you can win up to $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn extra entries into the big drawing from now until June 28th. Don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
For over 8 years, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain gone. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in their achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life. The best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. It's an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or your back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Storm season 2025 is here. Get peace of mind on the health of your roof and make Century Roofing your first call. We have extended our free material upgrade sale on all roof replacements. Get a Class 3 or 4 impact-resistant shingle for the same price of the standard 30-year or premium shingle. Save on your insurance premium and see why we continue to be voted best of Johnson County. Trust the pillars of strength for 35 years. KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing. Trust the pillars of strength.
I really need funding to expand my inventory.
Swish Funding can help you expand inventory, upgrade equipment, and boost your cash flow.
Well, okay, but I need funding fast.
Swish Funding provides funding from $25,000 to $2 million with payment terms tailored to your needs and cash in your account in less than 24 hours.
So what's the catch?
No catch. If you've been in business for at least 1 year with monthly revenue of $50,000, you could qualify. Just go to swishfunding.com to apply. That's swishfunding.com.
In a world parched for excitement, one drink will emerge. Twisted Tea, the refreshing thrill ride of flavor. Recreating its classic role as the hard iced tea that goes down smooth. Twisted Tea doesn't just taste like real iced tea, it's made with real brewed tea and a 5% kick of alcohol. Taste the adventure with Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
I'm Emma Greed, and I've spent the last 20 years building, running, and investing in some incredible businesses. The more success I've had, the more people started coming to me with questions. How do you start a business? How do you raise money? How do I bounce back from failure? On my new podcast, Aspire with Emma Greed, I'll be answering these questions and more through weekly conversations with the smartest minds out there. Listen to and follow Aspire with Emma Greed, an Odyssey podcast available now, wherever you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, Kansas City, it's Vinny Pasquantino. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, welcome back into the show. Yesterday, we had on Sean Mernon. He is the play-by-play voice for the Northwest Arkansas Naturals, and we saw Jack Caglione get the call up. Down in Double-A, he hit .322. He had an on-base percentage of .394. He had 152 ABs, hit 9 home runs. He leads the Cactus League in RBIs at 43. He had a very, very good stint down in Double-A at Northwest Arkansas. Well, now he is moving on up to the Triple-A squad. He will be in Omaha. Earlier today, J.J. Piccolo was on the midday show, and here's what he had to say about Jack Caglione.
Yeah, well, to be honest, nothing changed. He just continued to dominate Double-A baseball. You know, it was really good to see. He's, we all know he hits the ball extremely hard, and that's his, superpower. But we started to see some improvement in some of the decisions he was making on what pitches to hit and what pitches to lay off. And quite honestly, the level just wasn't good enough for him the way he was playing over an extended period of time. So we thought it was time for him to take the next step. With AAA, the pitching's better. Pitchers can game plan, but more importantly, follow a game plan better than AA pitchers because they're older, smarter, more experienced, and that's the right next step in his journey to the big leagues.
When you guys drafted him last summer, I mean, if I would have told you then, like the ideal quote-unquote timeline even just to get to AAA, like is this kind of best case scenario for him to get up to AAA this quickly?
Absolutely. I mean, it's, over however many years I've done this, I don't know how many players that we've had in their first full season that go to AA and just really dominate the league and now are in AAA. Obviously, Brandon Finnegan back in 2014 was a different situation. He was a pitcher, and we brought him right to the big leagues pretty much after a stop in AA. But this is the first that I can recall, and just happy that he's doing what he's doing. I mean, a lot of credit goes to our scouting department in identifying Jack with the 6th pick last year and have a lot of confidence in moving forward and selecting him. And Jack has exceeded expectations. We knew he was good, but until he gets out there and plays, you don't know how good he really is or how long it's going to take for him to get to AAA. But certainly he's on a fast track, clearly.
I know even in the front office, as you're getting a little bit of the comparison game, like our morning show host mentioned Adam Dunn. What, for you guys, who do you kind of envision Jack Caglione, who does he remind you of in the big league levels? Is there anybody that he kind of comps to?
Yeah, I mean, Adam Dunn I can see because of the power, but Jack is going to be a more complete hitter Adam. Adam struck out a lot. I mean, very good major league player. I think he's going to be able to control the zone better than that. Honestly, like what we hope he develops into, and I'm not saying this is who he is. This is what we would like to see is some version of a Pete Alonso. I mean, that's, a left-handed version of Pete Alonso. Pete makes a lot of good plate decision or pitch decisions. He's got massive power. He's turned himself into a pretty good defender at first base. I mean, and coincidentally, those two went to the same high school, so it's kind of weird. But that would be excellent for us, and really, the thing we don't want Jack to do is to try to be anybody but himself. I know that the comp game, we do it in the scouting world all the time, and it's just part of it. But Jack needs to be himself, whatever version that of Jack that it allows him to be the best major league player he can be. That's what we'd be happy with that.
I'm telling you right now, if they believe that Jack Caglione can be Pete Alonso, that is a win for all parties. Pete Alonso is a 4-time All-Star and won National League Rookie of the Year. And, oh, yeah, he's won the Home Run Derby a couple of times. Like, if you're telling me that that's what they think he can turn out to be, yes. Like, if you were looking at his 162-game average, I have it pulled up right now on Pro Baseball Reference. Over the course of a year, Pete Alonso hits .252 with a .343 on-base percentage. He averages 43 home runs and 113 RBIs for a season. If they think that's who he could be, yes. If that's who they think he is going to be or could project to be, he will not be down in Omaha for too much longer. Now, Pete Alonso got up at 24 years old. I believe that we'll see Jack Caglione before he's 24 years old, but he hit the ground running. Pete Alonso hit 53 home runs in his rookie season with 120 RBIs. He hit 53 home runs as a rookie at 24 years old. If that's who they are projecting Jack Caglione to be, and I understand it's a player comparison, you're going to use best case scenario, I'll take 80% of what Pete Alonso has turned out to be. That is by far and away, Rob, the best case scenario if you were trying to project what a prospect could turn into.
I mean, I think we all kind of knew this, but now JJ Piccolo's putting an actual comparison to it. It sounds like they think that Jack Caglione has prodigious power. Like Pete Alonso, it just mashes the baseball. You mentioned that 53 home run season. He averages 40 a year. Like, if the Royals believe that they are getting a 40 home run guy in Jack Caglione, wow. I mean, I still think that's a lesser baseball player than Bobby Witt, but you're telling me in Kansas City you might have left-handed Pete Alonso, and we know Bobby Witt Jr. is locked in for the foreseeable future. We oftentimes on this show talk about pillars. Like, what are the pillars of the team? What are the pillars we talk about in the back? The pillars of the show. If the Royals believe they have Pete Alonso as left-handed Jack Caglione, and you have Bobby Witt, you have pillars of the offense for a long time. And I haven't even mentioned the fact that Michael Garcia is 26 and hitting well. Vinny Pasquantino's a player that has shown a major league ability. Like, that is, wow. I mean, again, you're right. No one's going to be like, yeah, we think he's going to be just okay. But
that's
just
also not
idea.
factoring in the possibility that you just add an impact bat and that comes from elsewhere. Like, we're just talking about in-organization upgrades. If you were telling me that you have right now the second best player in the American League, you also think you have Pete Alonso in your farm system, if you spend a little bit of money in free agency, your 2, 3, 4, and 5 hitter, if we are including Vinny Pasquantino in this, you are as good as any team this side of the New York Yankees if we are talking about the heart of your lineup. Let's not forget Mikel Garcia, who you just mentioned. If that's who you think he can turn out to be, it is no wonder why the excitement level is so high, not just in the organization, but with you guys, the fans. You guys are really excited about Jack Caglione, and they're certainly not trying to put any water on the fire if that's who you think he could potentially be. Let me play this for you since we're having conversations about the offense. JJ Piccolo talked about possibly adding to this Royals offense.
Well, internal, they're going on all the time. I mean, that is a constant. I don't think we go more than 6 hours without somebody making a suggestion, throwing something in the Slack channel, an idea or two, waiver claims, et cetera. but when they become real discussions, I still think we're a little ways away. There's only a couple teams that are right now probably willing to talk about any of their players. If you're 5-6 games under 500, even at this point, maybe 10 games. I mean, the Tigers, I think, inspired a lot of teams last year with what they did from August 1st on. I mean, they were kind of, left like they're gone, they're out of it, and next thing you know, they're in the playoffs. So I think, teams want to hold their players longer in case you go on a run like the Twins just went on. So I think we're a little ways away from really having discussions that pick up. But I can promise you the internal discussions are never ending.
I am just going to guess. I can't say this definitively. This is just simply a guess of mine. The only reason that these conversations have not intensified is because no one is selling right now. You can have all the conversations you want about potentially adding. It takes 2 teams to make a trade. It takes 2 teams to make a deal. No one's making trades before Memorial Day. Everybody is still in it for the most part. How many teams are out of it right now in baseball? 4, maybe 5? The White Sox, the Rockies, the Pirates. I mean, we're not talking about a handful of teams that have no hope. So, yeah, teams are going to see. Maybe you get hot in June. I mean, the trade deadline is not until July 31st. So we got a long way to go in this conversation about the Royals potentially adding. So, yes, they should be having these conversations. You know what they should be doing? They should be having the same conversations that colleges have when they have an old head coach. When your head coach is 71 years old, maybe he's not planning on resigning now. You know that he's going to resign soon. You should probably have a list ready. You never know what could happen. You never know. If you're the Chiefs, you know what you should have right now? You should have a list ready. You never know what could happen with Andy Reid. You never know. So you should just have something in your back pocket. Hey, if Andy just wakes up one day and decides, you know what, I don't think I can do this anymore. My health takes a turn. I want to be a grandpa. I want to spend more time with my family. We're prepared. That's how the Royals should be. We're prepared for the trade deadline. We know that right now, but we got a list of 10 guys that we think are realistic that we want to go out there and trade for. And when business is open in Major League Baseball, because it is not open right now, but when business is open, we are going to start the process of making those trades. That's how they should handle it. It should not be a conversation of if the Royals are going to make a move for their offense. It should be a conversation of when and how much are they willing to part with to go get what they need to upgrade the offense.
I agree with you on the whole. The fact that, even the Orioles, you could make an argument how so much talent, they're not dead. There are not a lot of dead teams in Major League Baseball. But I think I have a slight frustration with the Royals right now because while their farm system is not gangbusters, while their AAA team isn't full of boppers, I feel like there are guys at AAA level who, with the meddling offense to the Major League level, have earned a call-up. Like he talks about, hey, we have these conversations internal all the time. What do those conversations look like? You're telling me you can't DFA Hunter Renfroe and bring up Nick Lofton? You're telling me that's just an impossible thought. You're telling me John Rave, who's a guy who at the AAA level's hitting pretty good right now, you're telling me you don't think, he could come up and be better than Hunter Renfroe today? Michael Massey. We all love Michael Massey. He's a really good dude. He's hitting 170-something. You're telling me Cam Devaney can't come up and do that 170-something? And Michael Massey has options. He has an ability to go down like MJ Melendez did. Like, I agree with you on the outside part. Hey, I don't think that the Rangers are selling right now. I don't think a team is in total free fall on May 20th. But there are some internal options that he talked about. That Slack channel always pops up. Maybe keep an eye on the internal options a little better, JJ, because Hunter Renfroe's a nothing for you right now. I love Michael Massey, but he's doing really nothing for you right now. Jonathan India looked like a good move on paper. He's not really doing much of anything for you right now. Drew Waters had reverted back to a fine Major League player, but you tell me you can't upgrade that somewhere in the system? Like, the Omaha Royals have to have some people that could feasibly come up and do better because the up players are bad right now.
I want to play some audio for you guys because you know that on this show, we hate all forms of hateration and holleration on this show. That's not something that we can condone. Whenever Rob goes on his anti-running back stance, I normally jump in because that's not the kind of energy that I want to give out on this show. We embrace everybody. Running backs, punters, college players. We endorse and support everybody on this show. I'm a lot of things. I don't consider myself to be a hater. A hater to me is somebody who is incapable of giving credit when credit is due. I don't hate KU. They're an incredible basketball program. They have one of the greatest home court, home field advantages in all of sports. KU is an incredible program. I don't hate on their team. I hate on their fans, but I don't hate on their team. They're amazing. There will be no hateration or no holleration on this show. Obviously, that's not how they get down in St. Louis on the STL hub. I never heard of this before. I've heard of other hubs. I never heard of the STL hub before. That's not a website that I frequent. Well, you know what? On their sports talk show, let me tell you, my friends, they had a lot of hateration going on their morning program. It's disgusting.
Brooke, you know what? One thing I hate?
What?
I hate the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are just shoved down St. Louis's throat because they want this market so badly. And so they make it so that all of their games are on TV in St. Louis. It's terrible. I hate it. Yes.
That's
I
what
hate it.
people do.
So, I mean, I get the schedule yesterday. So last night. You know, they've got 8 games, the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. They have 8 standalone games, 7 in primetime, 1 on Thanksgiving, that apparently are being directed only to St. Louis. 8 of them.
Apparently.
Plus 4 more. They're playing the Broncos, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Eagles. They're all playing them at 3:25 in the afternoon. And it's only apparently going to like 5% of the country because they're trying to shove the Chiefs down our throat.
Apparently, well, yeah, you didn't know that.
12 of their 16 games that
They're
are scheduled
trying
to
to
this
force you to be a Chiefs fan. Whether you want to or not, you have to be a Chiefs fan if you live here in St. Louis. It's Missouri's team, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I'm really mad that I don't know why they do this to us. It would be different if the Chiefs were any good and they got any national TV games. But apparently we're only getting like Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football, Thanksgiving football. We only get those here in St. Louis. The rest of the country is not having the Chiefs shoved down their throat.
You hear this kind of hateration? I mean, you guys had a time where you wouldn't have had another NFL team shoved down your throat, but you fumbled 2 of them in our lifetime. You know how hard it is to fumble 2 NFL teams? That's like you used to date Halle Berry and Jennifer Aniston, and you fumbled both of them. I'm looking at you a little questionable that this has happened. I can't think of another city that has been in this situation the way that you guys have. And it's not just that the Chiefs are being forced down your throat. It's not like these games are only being televised in St. Louis. Oh, no, they're being televised everywhere. You guys don't have some exclusive on Monday Night Football and Sunday Night Football. No, everybody gets that. You're going to get the 325 CBS game with Tony Romo. You think they gave Tom Brady $500 million to call the games for them not to be on in St. Louis? No, you're getting those games too. And it's not forcing your team or any team down your throat when the best team plays in the biggest games and you get access to it. No one can say, oh, man, I can't believe they forced Ohio State down our throat. They won the national championship. You don't want access to the best teams, the best players in the biggest games? What games do you want? You want the MAC? You want to watch Akron against Bowling Green? Or do you want to watch Ohio State, Michigan? Or do you want to watch Chiefs up against Ravens? Oh, no, you want Cardinals, Rams. That's what you want? You don't get that anymore. You lost the opportunity at 325 to watch Cardinals, Rams. You're going to sit down and watch the Chiefs, and you're going to like it, and you're going to enjoy it. And you know what you're going to do? You're going to support the other side of the state. It's not our fault that you lost your NFL team. That's a you problem. Hateration, Rob. I can't stand it. That's what I heard, a lot of hateration. I'm sorry that you don't need Sunday Ticket to watch the Chiefs anymore. You don't need to sign up for Sunday Ticket if you want to watch the Chiefs. You can live in St. Louis. You can live in St. Paul, Minnesota. You can live in Portland, Maine. You can just turn on your regular standard NFL package. You'll get almost all the Chiefs games, all the ones that matter. The only ones you're not going to get are the games against the Titans. You know what? That's a week off you can have from the Chiefs. You don't got to watch that week. We'll give you that week off. It's Chiefs Titans. You know what? But if it gets important enough, trust me, they'll put it on where you can watch it. It won't stay at noon for long. Not if the Titans are good. We know the Chiefs will be good. They'll do their part. Anytime the Chiefs have been flexed out of something, it was not because of them. It was because Russell Wilson was terrible. That's why the Chiefs get flexed. So if you're tired of the Chiefs being forced down your throat, I would just make a couple of suggestions. I would say, A, either tell your favorite team to beat the Chiefs so the Chiefs just play in less important games, and this is very important too, very important, I just wouldn't watch the NFL then. There's nothing you can do about it.
I will say this, and I don't want to come off like I'm defending the St. Louis Hub, because I disagree with them. First off, I think he said it backwards, because he mentioned how St. Louis is getting jammed up with the national TV games. Everyone's getting jammed up with the national TV games, whether you live in St. Louis or, Seattle. You're getting Chiefs on Thanksgiving. So that's a bad example. But I will defend St. Louis and iota here. I think it's a little fair to be upset with the Chiefs. Clark Hunt voted in favor of them taking your team away, and then Clark Hunt turned around and turned St. Louis into Chiefs territory. So I can understand how the fans might feel a little bit of a way that, hey, one of the guys who voted to eliminate our team is now being very, very aggressive and taking this territory over to garner a larger footprint for his team. I understand why you could feel an iota of a way. I disagree with it to the extent this guy's angry with it being jammed down their throat, but I would understand a little bit if you felt a little bit of a way. Hey, Clark Hunt voted to move my team away and then just basically settled the open territory for himself. It seems like he voted for self-interest. That I would understand that by a St. Louisan a little bit.
Well, I don't know what to tell you then. I don't know what to tell you. If I was you and you're tired of watching the Chiefs, I would advise you to get Sunday Ticket, and you can enjoy Raiders Cardinals at 325 opposite Chiefs and Ravens. If you don't want to watch Chiefs and Eagles and you want to watch Seahawks Giants at 325, be our guest. That's fine. That's your prerogative. You better pull up Crack Streams. You better pull up Stream East. You can go watch those games that nobody is watching. Or you can watch the games that's going to get 25 million viewers and everybody at the office is going to be talking about. You can watch those games, or you can watch Giants Raiders 325 with Ian Eagle and Charles Davis. You can watch those games if that's what you want. Nobody's stopping you. I don't know what to tell you. Sounds like a personal problem to me. You know what I would do at 325 on Sunday? I'd start making other plans then and not watching football, because the Chiefs are going to be on at 325 pretty frequently. You got two choices at 325. Either watch the Cowboys or the Chiefs every week, every Sunday in the fall. Those are the only two teams we're giving you at 325 on Fox. That's it. You get nothing else. So good luck, St. Louis. St. Louis, they just seem like a real unhappy bunch right now. They're unhappy with the NFL. They don't like their baseball team. They're just a real unhappy bunch right now. Nelly, what's going on? Can you come back and make an anthem for them? Because it's a lot going on over there on that side of the state line. I want them to be a happier bunch. I want them to be a happier group of individuals. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by our guy, Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. We'll get his thoughts on this past weekend out at Kauffman Stadium. Also looking ahead to this series that they are currently in with the San Francisco Giants. Coming up on the other side, we will continue to update you on the biggest news story in the country. I'll tell you what it is. Keep it right here, so Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
When dealing with erectile dysfunction, you want the right treatment for your specific needs, and every case is different, and finding the right solution can make the difference between okay and amazing. That's why Heartland Men's Health is Kansas City's leader in treating men's sexual health issues. ED can cause anxiety, stress, and a strain in your relationship, yet many men suffer silently without seeking treatment. Intimacy is one of life's greatest experiences, but ED can completely destroy it. Heartland Men's Health offers treatment when herbs and pills don't work. With success rates of over 90%, some treatments can help you last an hour or more, so why settle for good enough? Your first visit is just $99, which includes a medical consult, a T and PSA test, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work, then your visit is on the house. Heartland Men's Health has 3 locations to serve you in the metro: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Pick up the phone today and change your life. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
In 1950, my great-grandpa started Gunter Pest Control, and 75 years later, we're still Kansas City's highest-rated team of local experts. With decades of experience, our team has perfected the treatment plan to keep your home free from bugs, rodents, and termites. Gunter protects your home, but also the environment. Our treatments are safe for pets and kids, and our electric service vehicles are charged in our solar-powered garage. Go Gunter, go green.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Lowe's knows that summer starts with Memorial Day deals. Right now, select paint, primer, and stains, or buy one, get one 50% off via Visa gift card rebate. Plus, get 2 select 1.5-gallon annuals hanging baskets for just $15. Shop these Memorial Day deals before they're gone. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 5/28. More terms and restrictions apply. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Annuals offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here is your Game of the Week, presented by Hyundai. After some exciting acquisitions in the baseball offseason, New York shares the spoils of their side of the standings with the powerhouse of Los Angeles. However, the two teams will face off in a 3-game series when Los Angeles travels to Queens to take on a team who is set on cementing their place atop the league. Do you think astronauts fight over elbow room? Probably, because advanced tech doesn't always mean more space. Until now. Introducing the Hyundai Ioniq 9, a 3-row electric SUV with over 300 miles of range, ultra-fast charging capability, and lots of space. The all-new Hyundai Ioniq 9, space in an EV. Visit HyundaiUSA.com or call 562-314-4603 for more details. PA estimated range for Ioniq 9 based on fully charged battery. For comparison purposes only. Actual range will vary based on several factors. Introducing the all-electric Ioniq 9, space for up to 7, range for miles.
This afternoon, expect a high of 70 with slight showers becoming partly sunny later.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Your local Staples store has hot deals and super low prices throughout the store on everything for your business. Save even more with the Easy Rewards program at Staples.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Welcome back into the show. My name is Carrington Harrison. Coming up at the top of the hour, we are going to be joined by Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. There's certainly a lot of things to talk to him about. I actually saw a pretty funny tweet earlier today. Rob, did you know that Zootopia 2 has better odds in Vegas to win Best Picture than the Cowboys do to win the Super Bowl? So if you would like to lay a small wager on Zootopia 2 to win Best Picture, you can do that right now at plus 6,500 if you're looking at getting rich with Zootopia 2 winning, excuse me, winning Best Picture.
I mean, I feel like Zootopia 2 is not a great bet, but I know for a
Choke
fact
me up, I'm about to die over here.
I know the Cowboys are a bad bet, but Zootopia 2 for Academy Award seems also unlikely, but FanDuel has a lot of my money for a lot of bad bets already.
It was such an unreasonable proposition. God decided to take my breath away. Like, you need to stop talking about that immediately. Let's move on. The story that I have been very, very intrigued about has been this New Orleans escape. And you know what? I am going to give you guys my word about something that we are going to continue to cover this thing as well as anybody. So we have a couple of updates. Rob, there were 10 people that escaped from this New Orleans prison. We talked about this yesterday. Again, every day we are going to give you guys an update. We need to get a sounder or something whenever we do this. So there were 10 inmates that escaped. They have caught 4 of them. We'll get to the details on how the 4th person was captured, but they have made an arrest. There was a maintenance worker, because if you're going to escape at a prison, somebody on the inside has to be a co-conspirator. So a jail employee turned the water off in the toilet, and that's how they were able to escape through the pipes and through the system. But he says that he was under duress. He says that the inmates threatened his life and said they were going to shank him if he didn't do it. So he had to do it to protect his life. Now, I don't know if he's telling the truth or lying or not. We'll find out. But right now, Sterling Williams, he has been arrested and he is accused of helping these New Orleans inmates. Trust me, if they find out that you cooperated in any way with this escape and what you were saying is not true, you don't have to worry. You're going to be in jail with them. Right now, you just work there. You could come and go. You still had some freedom. If you want permanent residency in this prison, let them find out that you aided in this escape. Trust me, you will not have the freedom to come and go the way that you did before. You will have a permanent residence at this New Orleans prison. Rob, you know what I did yesterday? Because I'm really, really fascinated with this story. I really am. I'm genuinely fascinated with this story. I did a quick Google because I wanted to know where they were in relation to where they eventually got caught. So a couple of the people got caught down at the French Quarter. It is a 10-minute walk. 10 minutes. Now, I've been down to this part of the country. I don't know why I never noticed this, but maybe I wasn't going over there that far. I don't want to go over there. It's 10 minutes. Rob, you're telling me if you gave me a 7-hour head start, they escaped at 1. They didn't know that these inmates had escaped until 8:30. You had a 7-hour. You got 10 minutes away. They also caught this other person. They have now caught 4 of the 10 individuals. One of the people that they caught him in East New Orleans. I looked it up. The East New Orleans Library, I imagine there's not a bunch of them in East New Orleans. I looked it up because I was curious because they found him in an abandoned house. It was 12 minutes away. These people did not want to be free. I told you guys yesterday, if this was me, I would look like Sammy Sosa and I'd be living in the mountains of Utah right now. If you're telling me I had a 7-hour head start, I don't know how I would have done it. But if you'd have caught me, you'd have caught me on somebody's Greyhound. You would have caught me on somebody's Amtrak. You're not going to catch me 10 minutes away. Rob, this would be like right now if you escaped from Odyssey and you're like, well, where am I going to go? And then they caught you at the other place. That's where they caught you with 7-hour head start? No, not at all. You didn't want to be free bad enough because I'd want to be free. I was reading yesterday that one of the individuals, he was scheduled to get out in 6 weeks. Just stay out of trouble and then you'll be free. Now, instead of 6 weeks, they're going to now add 600 weeks onto your sentence. This is silly. They're all going back to jail. Right now, they're 4 for 10 from the field. Trust me, by next week, we're not going to have too many more updates on this. We're going to have another week or 10 days of updates. They're about to catch these other 6 individuals because I'm not really sure how many of them had a plan of escape and a plan of freedom.
I mean, being caught that close. I mean, I understand that Shawshank Redemption is a movie, but you know what they did? They went to, what's that town in Mexico they went to in Shawshank Redemption? Where Morgan Freeman and Tim Robbins hanging out then. It wasn't like, hey, we're going to escape Shawshank and we're going to go next door. Hey, we're going to escape the prison through however many miles of filth to just hang out outside the prison. I mean, I know New Orleans is an incredible time. Anyone who's at the Super Bowl knows it's an incredible time.
It's a great time.
You know it's an incredible time. If I was trying to escape prison, I would think to myself, there are probably other places to have an incredible time while I'm on the run. Next door to the jail is one I'll have to skip. Just have a little, but you know what? They're probably in prison or jail initially because they don't have a lot of foresight. So I'm guessing that played a role in why they got caught so close.
Someone on the text line said, C-Dot, you got to remember a lot of these dudes have no money or resources, phone, etc. One of them was on Instagram Live. You only get on Instagram Live if you have a phone or a resource. That's it. And if you were going to escape with no money and no resources, you know what I would advise you to do? I would advise you to stay there. That would just be my advice to you. I don't know what you're dealing with in there, but I would say if your plan is walking out of the prison with no money, no resources, and no plan of how to stay free, I would just say, hey, you got to hold your head down. That's what I would tell you to do. That would be my advice, is what it would be. Now I'm reading it. They actually have an updated mugshot for the 4 individuals that they have now captured. And now they have them in a maximum security prison in Louisiana. So I hope you enjoyed your little time out there. 2 of them they found. One of them they found in the French Quarter hiding underneath a car. I'm not joking. I'm serious. They found him in the French Quarter 10 minutes away underneath a car. One of them they found he had on designer clothes. You got out of jail to go get fresh. You were not thinking about being free. Every day we're going to update you on this story until these criminals are brought to justice. The cops right now are 4 for 10 from the field. Trust me, all of these individuals will be apprehended and will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. I promise you that's going to happen. They found one of them in an abandoned house. We're picking them off one by one. We will find these criminals and bring them to justice. That's what we will do. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by Josh Vernier, our Royals insider. The Royals won yesterday. Chris Bubich put up another dazzling pitching performance. I think there's a chance that Chris Bubich might make the All-Star team. The way that he has gotten off to his start, I mean, they're going to get multiple starters from this rotation onto the All-Star team. What if Chris Bubich makes the All-Star team? That is a realistic possibility. We got Vern coming up next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Cosentino's food stores are celebrating 77 years of serving Kansas City. Come in today for incredible anniversary savings across the store. You'll find some of the hottest prices of the year, now through May 20th only. From fresh produce to family favorites, don't miss the unbeatable prices at every Cosentino's location. For 77 years, it's been our family's honor to serve yours, and we're just getting started.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance, like your first home expansion or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Spring is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors Casey for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for summer at PowellCasey.com.
Baseball fans love the long ball, and FanDuel is giving you even more reasons to love home runs every Tuesday during the baseball season. Because with Dinger Tuesdays, all customers get a home run profit boost token. That means when you bet on moonshots, you can take your winning to all new heights. So whether it's a big blast or an oppo, FanDuel is your home for betting home runs. All you need to do is go to FanDuel.com, use my promo code KFNZ, and gear up to go yard all season long. So every Tuesday, pick your favorite player to hit a home run. Doesn't matter if it's Bobby Witt Jr., Aaron Judge. The decision is yours. Use my promo code KFNZ to claim your Dinger Tuesday profit boost. Make every moment more with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook app, the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. 21 and present in Kansas. Opt-in required. Bonus issue with non-withdrawable profit boost token restrictions apply, including any token expiration and match wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. FanDuel is offering online sports wagering in Kansas under agreements. Kansas Casino, LLC. Gambling problem? Get help is your best bet. Call 1-800-522-4700. Visit kansasgamblinghelp.com.
Has your home been on the market without success? An expired listing can feel frustrating, but it doesn't have to be the end of your journey. The Sharp Homes team specializes in turning things around. The Sharp Homes team can give you options. Do you want to skip the showings and open houses and go straight to sold? Contact them to discuss their instant offer program. In fact, contact the only agent I would trust if I needed to sell my home. It's Dawn Sharp with the Sharp Homes team, brokered by Epic Realty. You can Google them at Sharp Homes Team or visit them at homesforsaleInKC.com and start packing. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in non-surgical relief for joint pain, with over 50,000 satisfied patients. People with knee and back pain now living pain-free. Shoulder and hip pain gone. What they're doing is nothing short of remarkable. They're using regenerative cell therapy to restore the tissue in their achy joints. They're using biologic growth factors with robust healing properties, carefully and strategically placed in your joint. It's a powerful and potent way to give your joints new life. The best part, with QC Kinetics, there are no drugs, no surgery, and no downtime. It's an all-natural cellular level option with lasting relief. Imagine doing all the things you enjoy this summer without being slowed down by that awful joint pain in your knees or your back. Call QC Kinetics now and learn about these cutting-edge treatments that can help you live your best life. Call 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. It's QC Kinetics.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at ethos.com/score. That's ethos.com/score.
Everyone has a fave Wendy's Frosty flavor. And when you're choosing from chocolate or vanilla, it's not that hard. But now, there's all new Frosty Swirls and Frosty Fusions. So try picking your fave from Oreo Brownie Fusion, Pop-Tarts Strawberry Fusion, Strawberry Swirl, Brownie Batter Swirl, Caramel Swirl, and Caramel Crunch Fusion. Not so easy now, huh? For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
At participating U.S. Wendy's, Oreo is a trademark of Mondelez International Group. Pop-Tarts is a trademark of Kellogg North America Co., LLC, used with permission.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories, and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the Cave or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Hey, it's Alex Gold, and since I'm the single guy here at the station. Yeah, I know.
Wow, how surprising.
They're having me read this promo about Instagram. You probably didn't even know we had an Instagram, right?
Hello, Instagram followers.
But now you do. So do me a favor and go follow us at The Fan 96.5. Win tickets, get behind-the-scenes content from the station. Plus, watch videos like Chiefs Take Tuesday and Best Bets on Sundays.
100%.
You're listening to your home for Kansas City sports, 96.5 The Fan.
Go check out 96.5 The Fan's Instagram page for videos, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes content. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. KFNC FM and AM HD1 and HD2. Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Welcome back into The Drive. My name is Carrington Harrison. Very happy to be here. Coming up at the top of the 4 o'clock hour, we are going to be joined by Mark Sharp. He is a state representative for Missouri. Yesterday, we had a Kansas rep on the show. Today, we will get the Missouri side of the stadium pursuit. Let's head to the phone lines right now. Speaking of the Royals, to be joined by our Royals insider, Josh Vernier. Vern, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Vern, did you get one of those replica 2015 rings? I got one. I was actually surprised at the quality. It's a very sturdy replica.
I would say for the last, and maybe it aligns with, it's going to sound like I'm kissing up. Maybe it aligns with John Sherman taking over, but you know, they partnered with Charlie Hustle, right, for all the T-shirt giveaways. The quality of most of their stuff nowadays, even the I forgot how you describe the hats, but the hats with the little flaps that come down over the ears, even those high quality, man. It pays to show up to Kauffman Stadium.
It absolutely does. Let's talk about this weekend, and then we'll transition to talking about Jack, and then we'll talk about the team in the series against the Giants. What was it like to be in the middle of this weekend? I got a chance to go out there Saturday and Sunday, and more specifically on Saturday. It was just really cool to see so many of the players on the field together, and the way that they did the highlights where they were just taking you through the season and you were just reliving so many moments and memories, things that you forgot about, players that you had forgotten, hadn't seen in a long time. I thought it was really well done. You had a front row seat to everything that happened this weekend. What was it like?
Yeah, it was very enjoyable. It doesn't feel like 10 years, so to me, it wasn't the trip down memory lane that it may have been for others that have a more exciting life. But for me, when it's Royals baseball year in and year out, no, that 2015 team is mentioned on basically every single postgame show for the last decade. So, it's nice to see them together because it reminds you of one of the reasons why you love that team. Now, the reason why you loved 15 is because they won, of course, but you also loved them because you had been watching them for nearly half a decade. A lot of them, right? You knew the inside jokes, you knew the relationships, you know who were the best friends, even though they all appeared to be friends, and all those things were on display, even though 10 years have gone by. Like we all know, if you get together with your high school buddies, your college buddies, it doesn't take long until you're right back in those familiar roles. And it was clear, even as a fan, as a media member, it was clear that everybody locked back into those familiar roles that they played back in 2015.
I had never thought this until this weekend, and you can tell me if I'm off on this. I came away this weekend thinking Moose might actually be the most popular one in this group. It was different whenever Moose spoke, whenever they showed Moose highlights. Maybe it's because he has a call that Hosmer doesn't have, or Salvi or Gordon doesn't have, but just it is funny to think about how this run started and the feeling about Mike Moustakas. Like, there was a time that he was MJ Melendez, for now him to have a retirement ceremony coming up in 2 weeks, for him to be one of the more celebrated players from that era. You want to talk about coming full circle, he might completely embody that.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the favorite because, again, and we've talked about this, that's another aspect of that ball club that was so much fun, is there wasn't the Bobby Witt Jr. Everyone had a favorite Royal, from a starter to even bench players to bullpen guys to starting pitchers. Everyone had a small fan base. I mean, even Terrence Gore, you heard the ovation he got on Saturday. That team was beloved and always will be. But yeah, I mean, the story when you win a title is always the title. You know, you don't talk about Mike Moustakas hitting 211 in 2014. You don't talk about how the contract turned out for Alex Gordon or how the career ended for Eric Hosmer or the health concerns early in Lorenzo Cain's career. No, you just remember they're champions, soon to be Royals Hall of Famers, and forever legends in Kansas City.
It was really cool to see the interaction between the 85 team and the 15 team, and the fact that so many of them are still around. And even on the 15 team, there are still like fingerprints on them. George Brett played a very instrumental role in 15 and the success. Willie Wilson was still around. So many of those great players. What was really cool with the Thursday event that they had down at Union Station was seeing the relationship between the 85 and 15 teams.
To me, watching the 85 team on Friday just made me feel old in that, you know, when I look at the 2015 guys, I view them the same way that my nephew views the 2025 team, the same way that our uncles viewed the 1985 team, right? The boys of summer, the guys that lay it all out there on the line, you know, having the time of their lives. You know, you watch those highlight packages, and not only do you remember the great moments, but you see the smiles and the celebrations and the post-game celebrations and the trials and tribulations that those 25, 26 guys go through together. And it's always the same. You know, every championship team, even teams that fall short, they all go through that. They all think it's never going to end. It's all the pinnacle of their professional lives, and it's over in a blink, and suddenly it's 40 years later, and a few of you are getting wheeled out, and you're all bald, and well, except for George, but the rest of them are all bald, and it just puts into perspective, you know, with your grandfather and your father and yourself and your sons and your daughters. It's baseball is life, man, and for as much as we want to think we're going to be around and it's going to be around forever, it's all gone in the blink of an eye.
I think one thing that watching that highlight video showed me, and we've talked about it before, but it just came up as I was watching it, is, man, those two teams just have so many what ifs. Like, there was so many times in that story where the story just could have abruptly ended. Like, I'm sitting there at the wild card game. I never thought I would get a chance to go to a Royals postseason game. So much hope, so much excitement, and then that deflating feeling of a big home run being, and it's like, oh, well, I guess it's over. And then little by little, the Royals start to come back. They highlighted the Carlos Correa error, and the Royals, who had just run through the season, wait, they're down 4 heading into the 8th inning. The story can't end this way. I think kind of going down this trip down memory lane, I think I just kind of realized, man, there were so many opportunities for this story to not end the way that I wanted it to, and just everything that could go right for the Royals basically did for like 18 months.
Yeah, same in 1985, right? They're down 3-1 to the Jays in the ALCS, and George goes crazy. They're down 3-1 to the Cardinals in the World Series, and Jack Clark doesn't catch a foul ball, and there's a wild pitch, and then, of course, the missed call at first base. And, yeah, so many instances to where they don't make it to the World Series in 85. They don't win the World Series in 85, and could you imagine George's legacy, what this franchise, if this franchise would still be in Kansas City, if not for that 85 team. No, and that's a perfect example of why when it's May 20th and your baseball team has, the second most wins in the American League, sure, we can nitpick. We can point out certain aspects that we hope improve over the course of the final 113 games. But it's a pretty good spot to be in where we're at right now in 25.
Right now, we're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vernier here. We just recapped the celebration this past weekend between the 1985 and the 2015 team. A great celebration out at Kauffman. I also thought the crowd was very much into it. Even though there were a lot of Cardinals fans on Saturday, that's certainly a fan base that understands history, appreciates history, and I thought they were into it, and it was just fun to see Kauffman Stadium so fired up on Saturday. I know the game didn't live up to it, but it was a great crowd, and I'm not really sure if you can be upset by the turnout that we saw this past weekend at Kauffman.
No, very happy, and it's always very picturesque, even though I know the Cardinals are detestable and all of that, but the red, white, and blue at Kauffman Stadium, it was a very nice weekend aesthetically, but yeah, on the diamond, you were hoping that would have been a little bit more successful.
Let's talk about Jack Caglione here. He got called up to AAA Omaha. What's your biggest takeaway? What was your impression when you saw the tweet that the Royals had made the decision to move him up?
I thought of Ned Yost, right? Because it was a week ago that I was on with Fesco and Dusty, and I thought, yeah, it appeared to me, and again, I'm not watching every pitch. I'm not diving into AA baseball. I'm looking at the box scores. I'm watching recaps, but it's nothing all that's strenuous. But it appeared to me that the challenge was no longer there for Jack, and I think of Dayton Moore always talking about you can only grow as your competition grows. But then I thought of Ned Yost. He always says or said, whenever I'm thinking about making a move, I wait a week and then possibly make that move. And that's exactly what the front office did. Maybe it was apparent that Jack was ready a week ago, but JJ and many of the front office make that trip down there. They get their eyes on Jack, and they confirm what they were reading in the reports, and Jack gets the bump up to AAA. Again, this is what we talked about back in spring training. So far, it's been best-case scenario with Jack Caglione. Go to AA, dominate, and get bumped up to AAA before the calendar flips to June. He's done it. Now, next up is go dominate AAA, ideally for a couple of months, and then join a team that is red hot, an offense that is consistent, and a team that is steamrolling towards October. So 2 more steps to go, but so far, everything you could have hoped for the 22-year-old has come to fruition.
I thought the Royals were going to slow play this a little bit. Are you surprised by how quickly this is moving? I mean, we're talking about a player who played less than 2 months in AA. Now, I certainly understand their logic. He was incredible down in AA. He hit 322. He had almost a 400 on-base percentage. He led in RBIs. So I certainly get why they are doing this. I'm just surprised for an organization that usually kind of slow plays these things. That doesn't seem like that's the case here with this prospect.
Well, I do think it's a different game, and of course, the organization that you're referring to, yes, had J.J. Piccolo in it, but that that was more of the right. Dayton Moore is the one that held back Bobby Witt Jr. You could make a case that Bobby could have been in the big leagues a year before. I know Dayton struggled with that decision of whether or not to have Bobby take all of those steps and go through the normal minor league progression. No, I'm not surprised. And once you saw Jack start to moonlight in the outfield, 5 starts in right, he's made a start in left field as well. Once you saw that, you knew that the Royals are thinking about 2025 with Caglione. That's what I'm most interested in when the lineup comes out in a few hours and how they handle him for the first few weeks. Is it predominantly in the outfield? Because Jack Caglione playing first base at AAA, being that close to the big leagues, him playing first base really doesn't do all that much for the big league club. To me, he's a right fielder. He's a left fielder. He's a guy that's knocking on the door and looking, should have Hunter Renfroe looking over his shoulder.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, to me, I'm 100% with you. If you're going to do this move, and we're talking about Jack Caglione joining this team, let's just pick August 1st as a random date, you got to be thinking about where he can potentially play. And offensively, if he continues to do in Omaha what he was doing in Northwest Arkansas, then you're going to have to make room for him. The only place that makes sense to me is one of those corner outfielders. What I want this team to do is, if you were telling me that the plan is around July 31st is, they go make a move for a bat and they bring up Jack Caglione, that's a really good improvement for this offense. And hopefully you are heading in the right direction with this offense.
Yeah, and ideally, when Cags gets that call, it's not an offense that is desperate for that trade acquisition and the emergence of Caglione. Ideally, he debuts hitting in the 7th spot and eventually climbs his way up, up to the 5 spot, the 4 spot, depending on who you bring in. But, and I heard you talk to Denny about it yesterday, you cannot ask a 35-year-old catcher to be your cleanup hitter if you're going to win the division. Not in the second half of the season. Salvi's going to be able to turn it around, I believe, offensively. But come those brutal summer days of July, August, and September, if you're going to have him behind the dish, you can't ask him to be who he was last year, who he's been for, half a decade now. You have to expect some decline offensively. If you're going to put him behind the dish, and again, that's another reason why really no reason for Caglione to be playing first base all that often. Now, occasionally fine, but nightly, no, because Salvi's a first baseman at DH in the second half of the season. Vinny's a first baseman DH in the second half of the season. You don't need another one.
We got breaking news right now in the NFL. NFL owners have approved for NFL players to participate in flag football in the upcoming Olympics in 2028. NFL players have been allowed to play in the Olympics. We'll figure out more of the information. The Olympics in 2028 will be from July 14th through July 30th in Los Angeles. NFL owners have approved it. I'm sure there are some provisions. Once we find those out, we'll certainly share them with you. Patrick Mahomes has actually expressed that he would be interested in playing in flag football in the Olympics. We'll talk about that more once we get done with Vern. Vern, let's get back to the Royals here. It sounds like you're not worried about Salvador Perez.
Not more concerned than what I just said, right? I don't think you can ask him to drive the bus like you'll need a cleanup hitter to drive the bus to win a division. I don't think you can ask that of him when the calendar gets to July, when we get to the second half of the season. I mean, I could dive into some of the advanced metrics or the expected numbers. You look at the expected batting average and on-base percentage and the expected slugging percentage for Salvi. He's run into a lot of tough luck this season. I know nobody likes to hear that. They roll their eyes at it. But Salvi's track record, coupled with those numbers that say his exit velo, his barrels, should equate to much better numbers. And I'm talking a lot better, right? He's hitting 218. He has an expected batting average of 290. He has an OPS of 578. An expected OPS of 866. So that, coupled with him being a future Hall of Famer, if anybody's going to turn it around, I believe in the captain.
The only thing I would say, and this is me pushing back a little bit because you heard what I said yesterday, if Denny says that he's going to give it until June 20th, I will give it until June 20th. Usually, I would say that fans are the last ones to acknowledge when a player is declining. Like the decline, it appears, if we're just looking at the raw numbers, is happening right before our eyes. And we all love Salvi. We all feel the same way about him. But, I mean, it is a noticeable decline from where he was last season and where he's been these last handful of years. And I think you and I agree on this. Yes, Hunter Renfroe is a problem. Yes, MJ Melendez was a problem. One of the problems with the Royals offense is they were counting on getting a productive version of Salvador Perez, and that just really hasn't happened so far this season.
Well, it hasn't happened in May, right? He's hitting below 200 since the calendar flipped to May. In the second half of April, though, his numbers were well above league average. So, we're not even 50 games into the season. He's had a decent start, a good stretch, and now a bad stretch. And again, those advanced numbers would tell you that things are going to turn around for Salvi. So, eventually it's going to end. I don't believe it's right now, but who knows? Like you're saying, eventually, sure. It certainly will end, but there's just too many reasons for patience with Salvi, both tangible and intangible.
Right now, we're talking to our Royals insider, Josh Vern. You're joining us on the show. Vern, is there a chance that Chris Bubic makes the All-Star team?
Yeah, no doubt. I would say right now, Bobby, Bubic, and Lucas Erceg would be my three selections. Michael Wacha has a really good case, but I'll go with those three. I'll say right now it's Bubic, Bobby, and Lucas Erceg.
I left Saturday really, really impressed with Noah Cameron. I could easily see how a young player in the middle of all of that, you're from St. Joe, you're making a start at Kauffman, packed house, the Cardinals are in town. Like, I could see how the moment could take over there. Noah Cameron looked like a guy that's been doing this for 8-9 years. He's not really a prospect that we spent a lot of time talking about over the last couple of years, but I find it hard to believe that the Royals got a lot better prospects in their minor league system than what we've seen from Cameron in his first two starts.
Well, at 25, you're not, well, to have that little of big league experience, the scenario that you paint and you can throw on top of it, you're throwing to Salvi and you're pitching in front of a 2015 Royals club that you, as a 16-year-old, cheered on and fell in love with. Yeah, it's got to be overwhelming. But the thing that stuck out to me this spring about Noah Cameron, and talked about it on those hot stove shows, was how composed he was, how professional he was, both in demeanor and also eye test-wise. The command to throw 4 or 5 different pitches to all 4 quadrants, very Chris Bubich-like in the way that he can keep hitters off balance with stuff that isn't necessarily overpowering. And then just the eye test, I mean, he's got a man's body out there. Now he's 25. I'm not going to act like he's a kid. But for a rookie, 2 starts into his season, yeah, you can certainly dream on a lefty with command like that, 6 years of control to go along with Chris Bubich and Cole Reagans and some other very nice pieces that are down on the farm right now. You feel good about this organization top to bottom. Not only at the big league level do you have a team with 27 wins, again, the second most in the junior circuit, but you have a top 10 prospect that is always being promoted by the league, right? You see it on social media. Major League Baseball loves Jack Caglione. They cannot wait for this dude to get to the show. He is going to be everywhere. That coupled with a pitching department that now it appears can draft and develop, this is how you win consistently in a market like this. Kudos to the front office. Kudos to ownership.
Have you ever been to San Francisco Stadium?
Yeah, for the 2014 World Series.
Oh, yeah, okay, my bad. No, that was a silly question now in hindsight. No, it was a long time ago. I got a chance to go out there last year. One of my really good friends lives in San Francisco. I got a chance to see the stadium. Absolutely beautiful stadium. I mean, one of the cool things about baseball, it's very obvious, but just how unique every stadium is and how the experience in every stadium is just totally different. But, like, to walk back there, see McCovey Cove, know that Barry Bonds used to hit home runs here, a really, really cool park.
And you don't have to go into the ballpark to take pictures with that Willie Mays statue, who was my favorite player, always will be my favorite player. That was my main attraction when I went out there, was to see the Say Hey Kid. But, again, that was 11 years ago. I know San Francisco is a lot different than it was 11 years ago, because back when I'm going out there, the Warriors were just starting. I would imagine that basketball team has certainly changed the landscape of the downtown.
Yeah, and they also are in a new stadium since the last time you were down there, too. It's in downtown San Francisco. Last question, I'll get you out of here, Vern. Norm from Cheers has just recently passed away. R.I.P. to him. You and I are around the same age, that we didn't grow up with the 80s shows the way that we did with the 90s shows, but there was definitely an 80s show that you liked. Like, I like Golden Girls. I can't really explain what it was, but you know how it is. You would just watch the news, and then after the news, there would just be this 80s show. You just end up watching like, oh, this show's kind of funny. What was your 80s show?
Yeah, Golden Girls is good. Cheers, I'm glad you didn't have a question, because I never truly dove in on that. Is the Cosby Show a cop-out? Because, yeah, that was, or does that count as an 80s show?
Yeah, definitely,
right?
100%.
Yeah, well, then the Cosby Show would be my answer.
Is it still
Just
the answer
loved
with
it,
everything
and,
now? Like, I feel like now you got to completely move away from everything Cosby.
No, I mean, yeah, he's a scumbag, obviously, and it broke everybody's heart, and you feel horrible for the victims. But no, that was the show, man. Yeah, of course. That's what I was watching. He was Cliff Huxtable. Who didn't love that show? Get real.
You want me to ask you a question about the stadium, or you just want to end our interview?
I don't know anything. I don't follow it.
That is our guy.
You're doing a great job, though. I know that.
No, that is our guy, John. I just had to ask you. Like, maybe you're like, man, I got thoughts. Nobody ever asked me about the stadium. I just want to give you the chance.
Just tell me where to go. That's all I know.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show. Thanks, Vern. I appreciate you.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
That is our guy, Josh Vernier, joining us on the show. Happy to talk a little Royals baseball with him. If you missed it, the NFL has approved players to participate in flag football in the 2028 Los Angeles Olympics. The Summer Games would be from July 14th through the 30th in 2028, so we still got a couple of years. They are coming up with the rules. It looks like only one player per team would be able to play in this, so you can't have 3 or 4 guys, only one player from each team. Patrick Mahomes, in the past has suggested that he would be open to playing flag football. We'll talk about it coming up on the other side. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
So we had Mark Canna on the show last week, and we were talking about barbecue restaurants in town that he's been to, and Gates Barbecue was one of those places. He considers himself to be a foodie. Wouldn't you take the advice of somebody who considers themselves to be a foodie? Well, with 5 locations around town, you were never too far away from that classic Gates barbecue taste. And right now, all locations are serving the Gates Burnt E Mac. It's delicious mac and cheese topped with some Gates Burnt In. It's a meal all by itself. Or maybe you want to get that as a side and you want to put that with a beef on bun to go, please. Maybe you want to put that with a mixed plate. You certainly can do that as well, and make sure you get some of those wonderful Gates fries. You also got to get a strawberry pop to wash all of that down. Well, grilling season is right around the corner. That means you got to restock on your sauces. You got to restock on your seasonings. You can do that in store, any one of the locations. You can do that on the website, gatesbbq.com, or the next time you go to the grocery store. So the next time you're thinking barbecue, and I know you are with the weather as nice as it is right now outside, be sure you're thinking about Gates Barbecue.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. KC Tech Council has 3,000 IT jobs open in March alone. 3,000. Centric can train you to do one of those jobs.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. So, I wanted to write a thank you note for every dollar Missouri Lottery players have given to Missouri and education. But that would be 8.4 billion notes. So to save a little time and a whole lot of paper, here's just one. Dear every single lottery player in Missouri, thank you for helping us give $8.4 billion to Missouri and education. Sorry, my trumpet's in the shop. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
It's the spring sales event at Rob Sight Ford, and I'm here with the man himself, Rob Sight. Rob, you already stole the spotlight. Now what are you trying to take?
Just your attention, Kevin, and maybe a few trade-ins. Now, we've got up to $14,000 off new Fords with employee pricing, plus our own dealer discount.
14 grand. That's hotter than your Sunday barbecue.
Exactly. And unlike your burgers, these deals won't dry out. We've got hard-to-find inventory, huge trade-in values, and our non-commissioned sales team makes everything so easy.
No pressure, just real help. Even I'll admit it, it's the best place in Kansas City to buy a car, and I don't hand out compliments lightly, or seconds.
That's a fact. And don't forget, we're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer on Google. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 reviews, and 0 grill marks.
All right, Rob, I'll give it to you, man. You're cooking up some real value over there.
Come see us at 135th and State Line, or visit robsight.com. But hurry, these deals are sizzling and inventory's moving fast.
And tell him Rob sent you. No guarantees, but he might throw in a hot dog.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across our multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get a free quote at ethos.com/win. That's ethos.com/win.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Some issues on westbound 70 between 470 and going all the way back to 435. There's a crash southbound 435 just past 70, and then looking at another collision westbound 70 just past Lee Summit Road. And then in between, some debris in the roadway, westbound 70, just before Blue Ridge Boulevard, closing the left lane. So just lots of distraction between those 2 points of 435 and 70 and 70 and 470. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
All right, let's talk about this breaking news story. The National Football League has approved for their players to participate in the upcoming Olympics. We have a Summer Olympics coming up in 3 years, 2028. The Summer Olympics is in the United States. It will be held in Los Angeles. It will be between the 14th and the 30th. Now, we don't know when the flag football portion will happen. There is a chance that this happens directly before training camp, so no player will miss any time. This could happen a little bit later in the Olympic cycle, and some players would miss a very small portion of training camp. So I want to play this for you because Patrick Mahomes, in years past, has expressed he would be interested in playing in the Olympics. Here's what he had to say.
Oh, I definitely want to, but I've seen some of those guys play the flag football, and they're a little faster than I am. I know there's not like there's not like linemen blocking for you, so I'll be 31, 32 years old. So if I can still move around, then I'm gonna try to get out there and throw the football around, maybe in LA. Just don't tell Coach Reed or Veach or anybody.
So that is Patrick Mahomes. He said he was very, very interested. Now, I know this is going to sound hypocritical, and maybe this is me talking out of both sides of my mouth. I maintain that I don't think that NFL players should be allowed to play in this. I think it goes against the real spirit of what the Olympics are. The Olympics are seeing the best countries, the best athletes in the world go up against one another. Football is not an international game. Basketball is, baseball is, volleyball, soccer, golf. These are sports that people play around the world. There are not enough other countries that participate in football the way that we do to make this truly entertaining. Yes, from a financial standpoint, I'm sure the NFL is thinking, well, I mean, this is going to happen during your free time. I mean, sure, if you want to go out there, it can only help us. And it sounds like one of the provisions is going to be, well, if a player gets hurt during the Olympics, we want a salary cap exemption. So let's say that Justin Jefferson goes out there and tears his ACL in the Olympics, then his contract simply won't count against the books for this year. So for the owners, sure, you don't have the player, but it's kind of hard to really find other negatives from the owners. I mean, it only increases their visibility of their sport to have these players go out there. So I see why it was unanimously approved today to have the players go out there. So on one side, I understand that this next opinion is going to sound hypocritical and that I don't think they should go over there. I think it violates the spirit of the Olympics. I find it to be pointless for the most part. I would be fine if Patrick Mahomes wants to play. If Patrick Mahomes decides that he wants to go to the Olympics and he wants to be the Chiefs representative for the Olympics, go let him play. I mean, he's the quarterback. I'm just going to guess. I could be wrong. I haven't watched a whole lot of flag football games in my life. I'm assuming that the quarterback isn't going to be doing a whole lot of running in this thing. I'm assuming that it's going to be a 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi. If you don't get the ball out of your hand by 5, you are technically down. So why would I be against Patrick Mahomes going to Los Angeles and throwing to the best wide receivers in the world? That doesn't sound like a bad way to spend time. Of all the players who could possibly get hurt, I'm guessing the quarterback will be the least likely of all of those possibilities. So if this is Trent McDuffie, we need to have a conversation about it. If this was another player, Rashee Rice, somebody like that, Xavier Worthy, yes, I'd be open to having those conversations, and I think there would be real pushback on if this is smart to let you go do. I don't really see many negatives in letting your quarterback go out there and do it. Your quarterback's not in any danger in your practices. I'm guessing that if the NFL is now going to be involved in the planning of the flag football, they're going to ensure that the quarterbacks are the ones that get protected the most. Hey, our quarterback is not running. If Josh Allen is going to do this, or Joe Burrow, or Arch Manning, or whomever the quarterback is going to be, it's going to be very simple. We're not letting your players run around and chase him. No, he's going to stand there in the pocket, and after 6 seconds, if he doesn't throw the ball, then he's down, and we'll take the penalty, or however you come up with the rules. So I just don't think Mahomes is in any danger. I don't think that there's any possibility that he could get hurt really in this. So yeah, sure, go out there. If you want to go out there and play catch to guys that are going to be wide open, you get a gold medal, you get to hang out in LA before you come to work for us, I don't have any problem with Mahomes going out there.
First of all, I don't think they're going to change the rules for the quarterback, but even in flag football, the clips I've seen, and what Mahomes said in the clip we played earlier, there's a little bit of running around, but it's not like they're running option football. I mean, it's more like evading some people to throw. I don't think it's like what Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson does. I also think, I saw this from Jordan Schultz, it has been a priority for Roger Goodell to get flag football in the Olympics and then get NFL players in it to expand the international brand of the NFL. It sounds like Patrick Mahomes is going to end up being one of the people. If you're Roger Goodell and you've been working behind the scenes to make this happen, you're going to not have one of your most marketable players, if not the most marketable player, play in this when he has already expressed interest. So at this point, I feel like it's going to happen to Mahomes unless he changes his tune. So maybe they will adjust the rules or whatever, but it feels like a foregone conclusion to me. Mahomes has said this. Goodell is working on this because of marketability. Those things go hand in hand. It feels like Mahomes is going to be in the Olympics. That just feels like a foregone conclusion to me.
Yeah, I just also feel like this, and maybe this is, hey, that's not what it's supposed to be. I kind of like the fact in the Olympics that they had 5-on-5 basketball for the professionals. These are for the best basketball players in the world. It didn't matter if you're from Serbia, it didn't matter if you're from Greece or Canada or the United States. Very, very simple, right? Like very, very simple. So I like the fact that the NBA players participate. I wish that they allowed baseball players to participate. I wish that once every 4 years, baseball took a small break and allowed all of its superstars to participate in the Olympics. I think it would be great. But the reason I feel that way is other countries play baseball and are actually really good at it. Puerto Rico's really good. Japan, really good. There's other countries that are really, really good. Cuba, really, really good at baseball. It's like a real challenge. That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about what at this point is, let's be honest, it is an amateur sport. And I'm not saying that to knock flag football. If you get really good at flag football, there is a much higher version of it that you should probably go out and play if you are that good at it, where they tackle you, where there's real danger. So I just don't like the fact that we have now allowed the millionaire football players to come in and take jobs from these amateurs. I don't like it. I just don't think that's what the spirit of the Olympics are. Are we that hard up to get another gold medal in this thing that now we're willing to sit there and watch the United States play Serbia in flag football? Who's their quarterback? Who are they going up against? This just doesn't seem to be in the spirit of true competition. And I think the NFL already does enough with its international mission. This just feels unnecessary to me. You are bending over backwards for the international mission. They have 7 games this year. You give them real games. You give them divisional games. They get the Cowboys and the Packers and the Steelers. Like, you have given a lot to international mission. A big reason of why you put the games on Netflix is that they're available across the world. It's not like the rest of the world doesn't have access to the NFL. In fact, they have almost the same access to the NFL that we do on television. So now doing this where you're going to see the United States just roll over all these other countries, I just don't know if it's going to have, the movement in football the way that it has with other sports. Basketball, we have seen grow exponentially. I mean, by the 3rd time that the United States sent NBA players to the Olympics, they lost the gold medal. It is not a guarantee that if the United States sent all of its best American players to the Olympics, it's not a sure thing that they are going to win the gold medal. There are other countries that could seriously compete and could beat the United States in competition. There's no country out there that I think can compete with the United States in flag football if we're sending our best football players over there. So a lot of this just feels very unnecessary to me. But the NFL, they unanimously approve this. It's hard to get all of them on the same page. They got 32 owners unanimously to say, yes, we want to do this. And the players obviously have expressed some interest in wanting to do it. I get why the players would want to do it. Hey, this is in the off season. It's in Los Angeles. It'll be good for my personal brand. I get a chance to win a gold medal. I get a chance to hang out with world-class athletes from around the world. Like, I get why you as an athlete would want to participate in the Olympics. But I would just say, Patrick, you get enough opportunities to do a lot of cool things. Why are we now taking this from the accountant on the flag football team? He doesn't get these opportunities to do cool things. That's what it could have been. So I do hope that they have a professional version of it and an amateur version of it. Like, hey, if you played in the NFL, you are ineligible for this version. So let's get the United States, all of these other countries, and let's see a fair representation of flag football. I just think this is just bullying on the rest of the world and something that they have just openly said we don't participate in. Why don't you do that to them in baseball or something else that they do? Well, you got to pick on them in football. Just doesn't feel right to me. Coming up at the top of the hour, we're going to be joined by a Missouri State rep. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
The Starbucks Summer Berry Refresher is officially back. Bold notes of raspberry, blueberry, and blackberry shaken with ice and poured over raspberry-flavored pearls. Try it with lemonade or coconut milk. Available for a limited time. Your Summer Berry Refresher is ready at Starbucks.
Check the back seat. Check the back seat.
Gets in your head, right? Good, because every year dozens of children are forgotten in the back seat. Cars get hot fast and can be deadly, so get it in your head. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then. 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
Cosentino's food stores are celebrating 77 years of serving Kansas City. Come in today for incredible anniversary savings across the store. You'll find some of the hottest prices of the year, now through May 20th only. From fresh produce to family favorites, don't miss the unbeatable prices at every Cosentino's location. For 77 years, it's been our family's honor to serve yours, and we're just getting started.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
In 1950, my great-grandpa started Gunner Pest Control, and 75 years later, we're still Kansas City's highest-rated team of local experts. With decades of experience, our team has perfected the treatment plan to keep your home free from bugs, rodents, and termites. Gunter protects your home, but also the environment. Our treatments are safe for pets and kids, and our electric service vehicles are charged in our solar-powered garage. Go Gunter, go green.
My name's John Clay Wolf. I'm the founder of GimmeTheVin.com. Every month, for the next 10 months, everyone that sells us their car to GimmeTheVin.com will get put in a drawing for a $25,000 winner. We're going to pull one of you out of a hat, and somebody's going to win 25 grand. So we're paying more, and you might win 25 grand. GiveMeTheVin.com. They don't call us America's Best Car Buyer for nothing.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Sell us your car. GiveMeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Not available in all states. Rates vary. Building a financial safety net for your family can be tough. But with term life insurance through Ethos, you can have peace of mind that they can pay the mortgage and other bills if something happens to you. With coverage in as little as 10 minutes, all online, Ethos finds your best rate across their multiple trusted carriers. Some policies as low as $1 a day billed monthly. And even in uncertain times, your term life insurance rates and payout don't change. Get a free quote at ethos.com/win. That's ethos.com/win.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Royals coverage sponsored by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Step up to the plate and hit a home run with Casey's best airport parking. It's Park & Go. Great service, low price, zero hassle, open 24/7, and all spots are covered. Don't get caught looking. Strike three. Reserve your spot today at bookparkandgo.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Slowdowns on westbound 70 just before 40 highway. Some debris in the roadway. It's got the left lane closed. And further out, a crash on westbound 70 just past Lee Summit Road. Got two left lanes closed there. And some debris in the roadway closer to 435. That's westbound 70 just before Blue Ridge Boulevard. Lots of brake lights on 70 this afternoon. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
I want to tell you guys a dream that I currently have. I don't know if this counts as very much of a dream, but it's something that I would very much like to see. Did you guys watch the FX show, American Crime Story? I mean, a couple of those American Crime Stories were actually really, really good. They have the one with the People versus O.J. Simpson that I really enjoyed. I've actually watched that multiple times. They had the one about Monica Lewinsky and the impeachment of Bill Clinton. They had one on Aaron Hernandez a couple of years ago. They had one on Versace. It's a really good series. I would encourage you to get on the Hulu app, and I would encourage you to check it out. Well, I want to make another suggestion for the people over there at FX. Now, right now, it is not a crime story, but who knows? Because a crime story could happen at some point. But you know what? I want to see an FX depiction of this relationship between Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. I am enthralled by this story. Now, maybe you don't care about this story, and I get it if you don't care about this story, but we are now getting reports that Bill Belichick is engaged to this woman. Now, I don't know if this is true or if it's not true. At this point, it is hard to decipher with these two individuals what's real and what's not real. But I'm just telling you what the internet streets are telling me. The internet streets are telling me that Bill Belichick is planning on marrying this woman. Whose idea do you think this was? Because normally, the man, he puts on a nice suit. You get down on one knee and you tell her how you want to spend the rest of your life with you. If I had to guess how this played itself out, I'm guessing that she proposed to him. Bill was just sitting there coaching, writing some stuff on the blackboard, and she was like, "Babe, can I talk to you about something?" "Yeah, honey, of course." hey, we've been dating now for about 5-6 months, and I know it's starting to get serious. I really love you. I appreciate you. Right, babe, I appreciate you too. You changed my life so much. I know, you changed my life too. Why don't we get married? Really? You want to? Yes, tonight. I wouldn't be shocked if they are already married. In fact, a lot of the stories that we've heard about Bill Belichick would actually make more sense if he was already married to this woman. Now, I'm not telling you they're engaged or not engaged. I don't know, but the story is definitely better if that's the case. I mean, listen to this. So they were supposed to be, they meaning North Carolina, they were supposed to be on Hard Knocks. So they were supposed to, HBO was supposed to come out there and they were going to do a Hard Knocks on the North Carolina football team. And you remember, oddly enough, they pulled out of the deal and it didn't really make a lot of sense. Well, the New York Times is coming out and says that Jordan Hudson demanded she be granted content approval and partial ownership of the show, which is why ultimately HBO and NFL Films, who puts on Hard Knocks, why they declined and didn't move forward with the deal. Wait, you're telling me that this woman thought that she was going to come in and demand partial ownership of a show that's been going on now for almost 20 years? That's what she thought. She also thought that HBO and the NFL were going to run ideas by her to make sure that she liked them and approved them. This might be the boldest woman that we have ever discussed. This needs to be a television show. This needs to be a A24 movie at some point. The only question for me now is, who plays Bill Belichick in this movie? Rob, you watch a lot of movies. Tomorrow, if they tell you that you're going to be the showrunner for a Bill Belichick, Jordan Hudson movie, who are you signing up to play Bill Belichick? Because at this point, I want a movie so I can learn more about their relationship.
First off, the fact that she demanded ownership based on every story we've heard about her is actually not that surprising to me. After we got the story that she basically jammed her way into being on the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial thing, she basically threw a tantrum and required her to be on that. I don't know who I'd want to play him. I know there was that Aaron Hernandez TV show that was terrible, by the way. It was really poorly done.
I kind of liked it in a very, I don't know, odd way. I enjoyed it.
It was like just so poorly done. They had someone terrible playing Belichick, so I can rule whoever that was out. I don't know offhand. Do you have a name that you're like, oh, this is the guy? Because I would have told you, before they made the OJ one, hey, OJ is going to be Cuba Gooding Jr. I would have said, huh? But it worked out perfectly on the television show. So I don't have an answer right now, but it definitely needs to be a television show. The way it's going, Jordan Hudson might make it a reality television show on Hulu before FX ever gets a chance to pick it up.
Text line 913-586-7965. A couple of people have suggested Nicolas Cage potentially play him in this.
Have you seen the photo of him as John Madden? He does look like he's going to do a good job on that film.
Somebody said Kevin Spacey would make a really good Bill Belichick. I actually think Kevin Spacey's a good suggestion. I love Kevin Spacey. Now, I know he's sick. I know that. But Kevin Spacey would do a great job as Bill Belichick. He would do a great job. Somebody said, what about Matthew McConaughey? I'm telling you, we need this show. We need a 8 to 10 episode FX depiction of Bill Belichick and Jordan Hudson. I'm serious. We need this. I never thought we would be here. I really didn't. I never thought we would be here where we would be openly discussing the relationship of Bill Belichick. He seemed like the most private, close to the vest individual that we have ever seen, that we have ever discussed. And now he's in the news for his relationship almost every single day. I love it. I really do love it. Someone on the text line says, C-Dot, I'd rather you talk about the NBA than talk about this. I'm always down to talk about the NBA. Rob, we are starting the conference finals today. We're starting in the West, and then tomorrow is the Eastern Conference Finals between the Knicks and the Pacers. So the superstars on all four of these teams, no one has won a championship. Who do you want to see get their first ring? Is it Anthony Edwards or Shai Gilgeous-Alexander on the Western Conference side, or is it Tyrese Halliburton or Jalen Brunson on the Eastern Conference side? Somebody gets their first championship. Who do you want it to be?
I want it to be SGA. I want SGA to be the first one through. Because I have liked that. I have enjoyed watching that Thunder team play basketball all season. And he is the MVP of the league this year, and obviously the best player on that team. He is incredible to watch. There's a little bit of everything. Also, I have no beef with Anthony Edwards, so he's not going to catch this. Tyrese Halliburton's beat the Cavs. No, you don't get to win. You don't get that moment. And you think I'm going to cheer for Jalen Brunson? Absolutely not. He already got his one title at my expense. No, thank you. So SGA is my answer.
I want to see what happens if the Knicks win the championship. I just want to see what happens. I will guess that we have never seen anything like it in a celebration of a team. It would be like if the Toronto Maple Leafs. It'd be like if the Toronto Maple Leafs won the Stanley Cup. That's what I want to see. I want to see what it looks like if the Knicks are the last team standing. I mean, Rob, you love superhero movies. How many times have you seen New York City get destroyed? You're going to see it in real life if the Knicks win the championship. We're talking about real in-game. Knicks in-game is what we're going to see if they end up winning the championship. I actually think it's going to be Knicks and Timberwolves in the NBA Finals. The New York Knicks going up against the Minnesota Timberwolves for the NBA championship. Doesn't that sound like a really, really good time? Sign me up. Coming up on the other side, we are going to be joined by the Missouri State rep is going to join us on the show, Mark Sharp. We are going to get his thoughts on what is happening right now in the Missouri legislation because they cannot get this bill passed. We'll talk to him next. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Slowdowns on westbound 70 just before 40 highway. Some debris in the roadway. It's got the left lane closed. And further out, a crash on westbound 70 just past Lee Summit Road. Got 2 left lanes closed there. And some debris in the roadway closer to 435. That's westbound 70 just before Blue Ridge Boulevard. Lots of brake lights on 70 this afternoon. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
Honey, it's me, your wife. Spring is here, and our house desperately needs the experts at Powell Exteriors Casey for siding, windows, entry doors, beautiful decks, patio covers, roofs, and more. Get ready for summer at powellkc.com.
Another checkup? Why are so many people getting new puppies?
Dr. Kim's veterinary office is littered with cuteness.
We are booked solid for weeks, but who can say no to a puppy, right? Oh, good boy.
She needs to find extra vet techs to get those pups some extra love.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, candidates can find it easier, so you can hire easier. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like you know to check the GPS directions first, before driving to the mall.
Turn right at the light. In 1,000 miles, you will reach Montreal.
Not Montreal, the mall.
Recalculating. 6,000 miles to Nepal.
No, the mall.
Checking first is smart.
Recalculating.
So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary. Subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
This report is brought to you by O'Reilly Auto Parts, your professional parts people.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99 at O'Reilly Auto Parts. In-store only. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
I've had a number of surgeries, and frankly, I don't have time to rehab a surgery and an operation at this point in my life. I didn't want to take time off my kids' activities.
That's why former college and pro football player Bobby Carpenter turned to QC Kinetics. We couldn't be happier saving our patients like him from operating rooms and long recoveries.
They will resume like normal activity for me, which is a lot of running. It's a lot of workouts. I've been very, very blessed with how it's been able to hold up.
For so long, patients have accepted surgery as the only solution. But with new technologies, the medical professionals at QC Kinetics use regenerative treatment Balance, your body's own biologics to help heal and restore knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
I actually ran into a friend of mine over at our golf course, and he had his knee done. It felt so well. He'd got his shoulder done. He goes, I can't thank you enough. He'd heard the commercial on the air, and so it's feeling great.
Find out how you can avoid surgery and finally get relief. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
Stop before you dig. Click or call 811. Every dig, every time.
Digging without having your underground utilities marked is like driving with your eyes closed. It's dangerous and irresponsible. Before you break ground, contact Missouri 811 online or by simply calling 811 to request a utility locate 3 working days before starting.
Stop before you dig. Click or call 811. Every dig, every time.
It's the law. Sponsored by Missouri 811.
Need to sell your house in Kansas City but not sure what the best option is? Selling a home, especially when dealing with foreclosure, divorce, job relocation, or an inherited property, can feel overwhelming. That's why I don't just make offers. I help homeowners understand all their options so they can make the right choice with no pressure and no obligation. I'm Rex, a local homebuyer and resident right here in Kansas City. Whether you're looking for a fast cash sale or just want to explore your choices, I'll walk you through the pros and cons of selling to me or listing with an agent. If selling directly is your best move, I'll offer you a fair cash price and a closing timeline that fits your needs in as little as 7 days or on your schedule. No repairs, no commissions, no hidden fees. Just a transparent, hassle-free process so you know exactly what to expect. Let's talk. Call 816-330-6000 or visit rexspicekc.com for a free, no-pressure consultation. Rex Spies KC, helping homeowners make informed decisions with confidence.
Hey there, Royals fans. We've got more ways to watch your boys in blue this season than ever before with FanDuel Sports Network. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action, or, new this season, Royals Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers like DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit Royals.com/TV to learn more.
What's up, KC? This is Matt Quattrero. On your way home from the ballpark, make sure to listen to Vern's postgame show right here on 96.5 The Fan. I will not be listening.
96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey Sports Station.
All right, a little bit of change of plans. Mark Sharp, his secretary, just called and said that they have to push things back 15 minutes. So we'll be joined by Mark Sharp. He is in the Missouri House of Representatives. He will be on the show coming up in about 15 minutes. Well, you know what? We will figure it out until then. Now, I was planning on talking about the Chiefs. That's what I had planned during the break when we found this out. But you know what? I am going to call an audible. And this is why. Bruce Feldman just released a list of the top 25 college football players since 2000. So since the turn of the century. Now, if there's one thing I love to do, it is argue about these lists and talk about random college football players of our childhood. And this allows us the opportunity to be both. Now, I'm not going to read to you the top 25. That's way too much work. Rob, here is the top 10 according to Bruce Feldman. These are the top 25 college football players of the last 25 years. At number 10, they had Terrell Suggs. At number 9, Travis Hunter. At number 8, Tim Tebow. Number 7, Vince Young. Number 6, Ed Reed. Number 5, Lamar Jackson. Number 4, Joe Burrow. Number 3, Ndamukong Suh. Number 2, Reggie Bush. And number 1, Cam Newton was number 1 on this list. You just heard the top 10. I'll give you the honorable mention here coming up in a bit. What is your initial reaction when I read to you Bruce Feldman's top 25 college football players of the last 25 seasons?
Well, first and foremost, for this show, I feel like you're about to take a victory lap about Cam Newton being number 1.
I mean, I've told you this now for 6 years. I've told you that Cam Newton's the best college football player we've ever seen. And all you've done is laugh at me and mock me, even though the proof is in the pudding. It's been there since the very beginning of time. Yes, Cam Newton is the best college football player that we have ever seen.
So I knew that was coming. That was number 1. Number 2, my secondary thoughts behind, oh boy, here we go. I want to know the criteria. Because I don't know there's a more accomplished college player we ever saw play than Tim Tebow, and he was 8. Tim Tebow won a Heisman and multiple national championships at Florida as the quarterback. Like, if the criteria is, hey, just be incredible on an individual level, check. If it is win a national title, check. If it's longevity, check. Like, I'd like to know the criteria because Tim Tebow at 8 feels wrong. Also, and maybe I just didn't hear it.
I can give you the criteria if you would like. This is how he starts the story.
I would like it because Tebow
You
feels
ready?
low.
It's very simple. Over the past few weeks, I reached out to 36 coaches, TV analysts, and TV scouts. I asked them a simple question. Who do you think is the best college football player over the past 25 years? So we are not talking about an individual season. Just they asked a bunch of people, who do you think is the best college football players? He compiled their answers to make a list. Now, people are going to look at it very differently. You're right. There are players on this list that had a much better career than Cam Newton did. Tim Tebow had a better college football career. I would argue that the best version of Cam Newton was better than the best version of Tim Tebow. I actually agree with you. I think that Tebow's too far down on this list. Tebow's one of the 5 best college players over the last 25 years. I love Ed Reed. Ed Reed should probably move down a little bit on this list. I'm sorry. Tim Tebow was a better college football player than Lamar Jackson was. So if you were telling me some version of my top 5, I think they're really close with what they have. Reggie Bush, Cam Newton, Ndamukong Suh, Joe Burrow, and Tim Tebow. That should be the top 5 list of the last 25 years. We might debate on where certain players should go in that top 5, but I do think that those players separated themselves. Either it was their ceiling of who they were as a player, or I think it was their college career. Tebow was one of the most Tebow was the Tyler Hansborough of college football over the last 25 years. There's not a lot of college football players you can name that are going to have a better college football career than Tim Tebow did at Florida.
That was my knee jerk. And we can argue about, I think Tim Tebow has to be top 3. If you have him at 4 or 5, I'm not going to fight you too much. But 8 feels ridiculous. Also, when you're through the top 10, now maybe I just missed it. It's possible. You're telling me Johnny Manziel isn't one of the top 10 college football players we've seen over the last decade?
Who are you moving out of this list for Johnny Manziel?
Terrell Suggs was a better pro than college player.
I actually kind of feel like you're forgetting how good Terrell Suggs was because he went to Arizona State. I feel like you're forgetting how good he was. And you know I love Johnny Manziel. I don't know where Manziel is on this list because I went straight down to the top 10. I didn't read the entire list. Let me give you the honorable mention, so the players that are right outside the top 10. Number 11, Larry Fitzgerald. Number 12 is Andrew Luck, who I always just thought was a very overrated college football player. You have Devontae Smith from Alabama. He's number 13 on this list. Number 14 is Baker Mayfield. Number 15 is Marcus Mariota. Johnny Manziel was a better college player than Marcus Mariota was. And Mariota was a dog at Oregon. Johnny Manziel was a better player than he was.
I also feel like Baker Mayfield might be a little low on that list, but like,
I actually think that Mayfield's probably about right. Mayfield's probably like the 14th best college player we've seen in the last 25 years.
I feel like he went to multiple college football playoffs, won a Heisman. Like, that has to carry some weight. But like, to say Lamar Jackson is top 5, but Baker Mayfield's just fringe top 15 feels very wrong to me. Like, just looking at those two guys, like Lamar Jackson felt like a moment where Baker Mayfield was constantly in college football, but. Yeah, Johnny Manziel being out of the top 15 is just wrong. Like, that, he was the first freshman, albeit I believe he's a redshirt freshman, to win the Heisman. That has to carry some weight.
Yeah, someone on the text line says no Charles Woodson. Charles Woodson didn't play in the last 25 years or so. He won the Heisman in 98, so no, he would just not be eligible for this list. Someone said, where is Vince Young? Vince Young is number 7th on this list. If you are wondering, this list is on The Athletic of the top 25 college football players. Someone said that Cam Newton was not better than Tim Tebow in college. I would just strongly disagree with you. I think that Cam clearly was. I think what kind of hurts Tebow a little bit in this argument, and some of this is just not fair. Man, if you look at the teammates that Tim Tebow had and you look at the teammates that Cam Newton had, it ain't close between the two. Like, if you go back and you look at how deep and how talented those Florida teams were, man. And that is not the case with Auburn. So I do think that Cam gets a little bit of a boost of Cam didn't have a super team at Auburn the way that Tim Tebow did at Florida. Someone else said, I also think it's silly the fact that guys who were one-hit wonders over guys who had better careers, I think it really depends on what you did in that one year. Like Joe Burrow in his one season, his great season at LSU, he completed 77% of his passes, for 5,671 yards. He threw 60 touchdown passes that season. You don't got to do that for all 4 years if you do that for the one. I'm sorry. Like, you don't have to be a 4-year Marcus Mariota star if you in your one season put that together. So yes, I would put Burrow very, very high on my list. If we are going off who is the best college football player you've seen over the last 25 years, Joe Burrow deserves to be very, very high on this list. Another reason why I would put Cam over Burrow is just teammates. Joe Burrow had Justin Jefferson and Jamar Chase as his wide receivers in college. I'm not surprised you put up big numbers. That is not who Cam Newton had as his teammates. I think Cam gets a lot of credit for who he took to a national championship.
Listen, where me and you just differ about Cam, and I don't want to make it sound like Cam wasn't fantastic, because Cam was a freak. Also, I didn't hear on the list, by the way, this is real quick, Tyrann Mathieu not being in the top 15 is very, very wrong.
I actually saw him on the list. He's 23.
Okay.
I saw him on the list.
I was like,
because you and I both love college Tyrann Mathieu. So you and I are on the same page.
I was like,
people don't understand how good Tyrann Mathieu was at LSU. They don't understand.
College Tyrann Mathieu was just, if he didn't smoke weed, he would have won a Heisman. There's just no way he wouldn't have as a defensive player. Where me and you just disagree on Cam is I'm not going to punish Joe Burrow or Tim Tebow for having good teammates. I'm sorry that Urban Meyer and Ed Orgeron are better recruiters than Gene Chizik. I'm sorry, Cam. You still won your title and got your Heisman, but 60 touchdowns in a season is obscene.
You ain't lying there. I can't deny that.
And by the way, Cam has this too. Joe Burrow wasn't throwing 60 at Hawaii. He was doing it at LSU. I think Burrow's better than Cam, and I think Tebow should be ahead of both, but I think those three are 1, 2, 3. That's bang, bang, bang. Also on the text line, and a lot of people are clamoring for Ricky Williams. Ricky Williams won the Heisman in 98.
Yeah, he doesn't classify. Yeah, no, I'm with you on that regard. Can we just go through the Tim Tebow team? This is why I just feel like you have to at least acknowledge that the team that one player had is just substantially better than the other team. Like, you're telling me at wide receiver he had Aaron Hernandez and Riley Cooper? Those were his number 1 and number 2. That ain't what Cam had at running back.
By the way,
that's not who Cam had at receiver.
What does Percy Harvin count as? Because he was playing every position in college.
Yeah, doing everything. He had like Chris Rainey. You remember how good Chris Rainey was and Jeff Dims? Yeah, that's not who Cam had on his team. I feel like Cam gets a little bit of credit for that. We don't, it's crazy because for as much as we talk about Cam Newton on this show, I can make a real strong argument that Reggie Bush is the best college football player we've ever seen. Reggie Bush at USC for those last 2 years was a superhero. He put together the best game I've ever seen a college athlete have. That game against Fresno State, it was one of those, the highlights just don't do it justice of how dominant Reggie Bush was on this Saturday evening. You remember when you had to stay up late to watch those games, and it was like, oh, I'll just watch this. And I'm telling you, I'd never seen, it was like watching Tecmo's Super Bowl Bo Jackson in real life. That's how good Reggie Bush was this day. For those of you that don't know the game I'm talking about, go on YouTube right now and type in Reggie Bush, USC versus Fresno State, and I'm telling you, you are going to see the greatest college football performance that you have ever seen. That was a lot of fun, a fun detour from not having Mark Sharp. He will be on the show coming up next. Mark Sharp, he is a Missouri State rep. He actually voted yes for the sports bill. We'll get his reasoning on why he voted. We'll also find out why a lot of his political colleagues voted no on this. We'll talk about it next. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5, The Fan.
Hey, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive here. Are you feeling tired, maybe a little foggy, or just not like yourself? Well, it could be low T. Symptoms like low energy, poor sleep, and a lack of motivation. They don't have to control your life. And at Heartland Men's Health, they specialize in treating low testosterone and helping men regain their vitality and confidence. With just a simple, quick quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com, you can find out if you're experiencing low T, and then you can book a $100 consultation. They'll run your labs, and within 30 minutes, you'll have your answers. And if you start treatment that day, then the visit is on the house. In just weeks, you'll feel more energy, get better sleep, improve workouts, and have a stronger sex drive. So don't let this hold you back. Pick up the phone. Don't wait. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. Heartland Men's Health has 3 locations to serve you: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Reclaim your energy and confidence today.
I'm Sia, and I support Humane World for Animals. Together, we have created a new version of Peter Gabriel's beautiful song, Salisbury Hill, to celebrate Humane World for Animals and everything they do. Enjoy the song and join us in helping Humane World for Animals end animal cruelty.
During National Military Appreciation Month, we at University of Maryland Global Campus say thank you to the service members, veterans, and families who dedicate their lives to our country. We are deeply grateful. For over 75 years, UMGC has proudly served the military community, from installations overseas to the communities you call home. Wherever you serve, we stand with you. Learn more at umgc.edu/thanks. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chef.
Harris, Kansas City is giving away $150,000 in guaranteed prizes Saturday, June 28th to celebrate Mid-Year's Eve. One lucky guest will walk away with $50,000 in cold, hard cash at midnight. Plus, leading up to the big finale, you can win up to $2,500 in free play every 15 minutes. The best part? You can earn extra entries into the big drawing. From now until June 28th, don't miss the hottest celebration of the summer, only at Harris, Kansas City. 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Memorial Day's here at Hy-Vee's, my one-stop shop for everything for our celebrations. I love heading straight to the meat department for grilling favorites like prime reserve beef and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats like pineapple or cheddar. And spend more time celebrating and less time prepping with Hy-Vee's full-service catering and ready-to-go meals, including ribs, barbecue chicken, pork, and so many different party trays. And don't forget the adult beverages. Hy-Vee has a huge selection of seltzers, wines, beer, and spirits, all for Memorial Day, only at Hy-Vee.
Let the summer fun begin this week at Hy-Vee. Just 5 days to save big on everything you need for the perfect Memorial Day. Load up the grill with tender Hy-Vee pork ribs, just $2.97 a pound. Throw on some Oscar Mayer hot dogs for the kids, just $1.77. Add party-size Frito-Lay chips, $3.99. Ice-cold Pepsi 6-packs, $2.99. And get the party started. Stock up on all your summertime favorites this Wednesday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
Shopping with your parents can be embarrassing.
Why would they sell jeans with holes in them? I'm going to speak to the manager.
Mom!
That hoodie is giving. You should get it. YOLO.
Thanks to the Chase mobile app, your kid can shop independently while you keep an eye on their spending. So you can go from...
We can be twinsies.
...to...
How was shopping? Saw you stayed on budget.
Thanks, Mom. Freedom for kids, control for parents. That's family banking from Chase.
Account subject to approval. Chase mobile app is available for select mobile devices. Message and data rates may apply. JP Morgan Chase Bank N.A. member FDIC.
The power of Dell AI with Intel Inside is transforming the world of pro sports. Teams can see curveballs coming with predictive analytics. Coaches can use AI insights to help players improve their shots in real time. And fans can get more out of every winning moment with AI-enhanced replays.
Unbelievable! What a play!
See how Dell Technologies with Intel Inside can power your wins at Dell.com/win.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
crash still closing that right lane on the Kansas side, northbound 435, right before Kansas Avenue, seeing traffic back to 53rd Street. And on the east side of the metro, westbound 70 just past Lee Summit Road, got a collision that's closing 2 left lanes. And debris in the roadway westbound 70 just before Blue Ridge Boulevard, that's in the center lane, so some swerving happening there. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Right now, there is a proposed Show Me Sports Investment Act. It would allow professional sports teams to access state funding for stadium development through a new bonding mechanism. This bill is designed to help the Chiefs and the Royals stay on the Missouri side. To learn a little bit more about this, we're going to head to the phone lines right now and be joined by Mark Sharp. He is a Missouri state representative. Mark, happy to have you join us again. Appreciate your time.
Of course. I'm glad to be back.
Absolutely. Let's just start with this. For people who maybe don't know all the ins and outs, explain to them what this Show Me Sports Investment Act is.
Yeah, so thanks for the question. So right now, our legislative session ended last week. So right now we're not in session, but this topic should be coming back up very soon, most likely early in June. So right now, Governor Kehoe was working on a plan to try to offer the legislature for approval to have the state cover up to 50% of any professional sports team that is within the Major League Baseball Association or the NFL. So it wouldn't cover anything for like a WNBA or an NBA project, but it would cover items for any projects that meet a certain criteria. I know we've spoken before about different iterations of this bill, but this one's a little different. But essentially, the state could be on the hook for up to 50% of the cost.
Do you have an understanding of why this didn't pass? Because it passed in your side of the government. It didn't pass in the Senate part of the Missouri government. Do you have an understanding of why this didn't pass?
Oh, yeah. Everyone in Jeff City, especially in that building, understands why it didn't pass. It didn't pass because people don't want to support the Chiefs or the Royals or any other future endeavors, maybe on the St. Louis side, that this program could take on. But there was a bill, and some folks probably don't know this, but Senate Bill 19 was a humongous omnibus capital improvements bill that contained, more than 60 plus capital improvement projects across the state. And that bill died, basically because some folks weren't getting along, and essentially the House Budget Chairman killed that bill. Now, folks are very upset about this, and they should be. So the plan now is essentially we're waiting for the governor to call a date for us to come back to Jeff City. One, we need to go back and approve that Senate Bill 19, make sure that the legislators are happy again, and then we can pull up the Chiefs and Royals funding project. But that's kind of where we're at right now. We're playing this waiting game.
I don't know. It hits my ear kind of funny. Maybe it hits people's listening this. There's opposition inside Missouri politics on whether or not we want to fight to keep the Royals and the Chiefs. Like you say, there are people in Missouri government that don't support, I guess, keeping the teams or helping fund the teams. It just sounds like that is the exact opposite thing than what is happening in Kansas. Everybody appears to be on the same side. We want the Royals. We want the Chiefs. You don't feel like that's happening in Missouri?
Well, it shouldn't be. It should not be contingent upon other projects being funded. But you have people. There's a human element, right? You have folks that are upset because folks in St. Louis may not necessarily care about what's happening in Kansas City. All they know is my project for $50 million didn't get funded to help this hospital out. So you have folks who are upset, and I get being upset. But we had a chance, and again, the Missouri House approved this measure. This all unfolded and really kind of went up in smoke in the Missouri Senate. You had folks on both sides of the aisle Democrats and Republicans that were, and again, these were not Kansas City folks. These were folks that were from different parts of the state. Folks in Kansas City were in lockstep. We wanted to make sure that we supported our teams. Representative Chris Brown, who I believe was the sponsor of the amendment on the House side, said it best. I mean, these are Missouri teams, and they need to stay in Missouri. So we feel that way. Unfortunately, we're going to have to make some folks happy, it looks like, with Senate Bill 19 and trying to pump some life back into that before we can see any action taken further on the Chiefs and Royals. But I do want to say that I feel very confident. I mean, this is the closest that we've been in the Missouri legislature all since the last year and a half, since the Jackson County 3A cent sales tax failed. Last time I was on this show, I was presenting a package that ultimately wasn't picked up, but this new version is a pretty good version. I mean, right now, the Chiefs and the Royals collect about $27 million a year in tax revenue to the state. And so essentially what this bill would do is would bond out the funding for the stadiums, and each year what we would do is we would just recycle the money that comes in from their from the taxes on these stadiums that they bring into the state, and then we use that to pay off the bonds, and that should be about a 20-year process. So depending on how big the project is. So, right now our understanding is that the Royals want to move somewhere within the state. And then our understanding also is that the Arrowhead, the Chiefs would like to expand. To what degree, I'm not sure yet. But those are the things that we're considering, and we should be called back to the state capitol probably in the next couple of weeks.
Right now, we're joined by Mark Sharp. He is in the Missouri House of Representatives. He voted yes on the bill that would fund the Royals and a renovation for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it sounds to me like you are optimistic that there is a plan in place to get everybody on the same page here in the next 30 days to get this thing passed.
Oh, absolutely. And again, this whole thing has been a roller coaster ride. I've been trying to stay optimistic about this. We had a package earlier. It didn't see any traction. Now we have this new package from the governor. And I think it's a pretty good package. I mean, this way we're just recycling the money that comes in from tax dollars and using that same money to pay off the project in hopefully less than 20 years. So that's what we're looking at. I do think that we will be in a place where we can get this approved. When they call a special session, it's not, when I say they, I mean the supermajority, Republican supermajority. When they call us back down there, this all should be lined up. And I'll show be in support to one, pass Senate Bill 19, the Capital Improvements Project, and then also the KC Stadiums package.
I got to ask this question as a skeptic here, as somebody that's listening. I mean, this package has already failed once. This bill has already failed once. What is stopping it from failing again?
Well, again, like insiders in Jeff City know that the real reason why Senate Democrats and some Senate Republicans, again, not from Kansas City, were filibustering that portion of the bill in Senate Bill 80 was because capital improvement projects in their districts, and that could be in rural Missouri, or that could be in St. Louis, or that could be in the Boot Hill. It doesn't really matter. Those folks were more upset about their projects being essentially mixed from one person, and because of people not getting along. Jeff City, it's supposed to be a place for adults, but sometimes you have childish things that happen, and Senate Bill 19 shouldn't have died. So I think we need to get that done first, and then we can go ahead and try to bring up this Senate Bill 80 again for another vote.
Yesterday, we had a representative on for the state of Kansas. Want to try to get both sides, I guess, comments, opinions on this. He categorized it as Kansas is in the driver's seat for both of the teams. Do you guys on the Missouri side feel that way? Do you feel like you've lost control of this thing to Kansas?
No, I don't. Now, one thing I will say, I get that this representative, they're trying to, bat for their state, and so I appreciate that rhetoric, but I don't believe that's true. I believe that both teams genuinely want to stay in Missouri. There was another package that was also passed. I'll go ahead and mention it now, that would create a Clay County Sports Commission, similar to what Jackson County has. So they are already laying the groundwork just in case that the Royals do want to move north. They'll have the infrastructure set up to do that. So I do think that we're taking the right steps, and our plan might not be quite as hefty as the Kansas plan, but it's a sweetheart package, and I can't imagine either team's not wanting to take advantage of it.
I was just going to ask you, just looking at this, do you look at these deals as being comparable? Do you see the Kansas deal as being a better one for the teams? Do you see them as equal? If you were looking at both packages, how do you evaluate them against each other? What are the positives? What are the negatives?
Well, I think the Kansas package may be just maybe be a tad sweeter, but not much, not enough to want to relocate. That's for sure. And again, Arrowhead, for Arrowhead to consider staying where they're at, which is a really pretty fairly convenient consideration with all the space they have around there. Imagine Kauffman Stadium, and again, I grew up going to games at FK. I'm not really wild about seeing the stadium knocked down in any capacity, but that might be where we're headed. And if the Royals move to Clay County or move downtown or whatever the case is, the Chiefs are going to have are going to be in a real good position to expand what might be some sort of a sports entertainment district, and I think a lot of folks would be excited about that.
Right now, we're talking to Mark Sharp here for a couple more minutes. He is in the Missouri House of Representatives. He is a state rep for Missouri. It sounds like you think that Clay County could be viable in this. Are you working with Clay County? Is this a full state effort to try to keep the teams on this side of state line?
Clay County has good representation. They're well represented. Senators Maggie Nirenburn are folks that are really leading that charge. I know she's filed legislation to help get that Clay County Sports Commission rolling. But my biggest, as a Kansas City, as a Jackson County person, the ideal thing for me is for them to stay one where they're at. But if they can't stay where they're at, then I hope they can stay somewhere in Jackson County. And if that's no longer an option, then I would be in support of them moving to Clay County. But it seems like we're not to that point yet.
Mark, if you could go back in the last, let's say, year or so, or since the vote failed in Jackson County, what would you do differently? Because, it just doesn't sound like this thing has been a very easy process, where on the other side of the state line, it does sound like it's been pretty straightforward. Hey, we know exactly where the money is going to come from. We did this with the NASCAR Speedway. We had great success. We offer you the exact same deal. One side seems very simple. The other side seems complicated in some ways. If you could go back now, what would you change over the last 12 months?
Well, we don't know what all went into them crafting this legislation on the Kansas side. Unfortunately for them, they don't have it. They don't have any professional sports teams outside of the Kansas City Monarchs out there to have this issue with. So they were able to present it in a very well polished whenever they were ready to present it. For us, this did catch us a little off guard. The whole campaign for the 3/8 sales tax last year seemed a bit rushed and hurried. One thing I would say that we should have probably done differently is this package that the governor has set forth. It's a shame that we couldn't have seen it and had a chance to vet that package much earlier in session. It was dropped on us in the last week of session, and I don't think that was intentional. I do think it just took a while for his administration and the powers that be in Jeff City to find something that would be presentable. I don't think that he was trying to hide his pitch, so to speak, before he delivered it.
Last question here, Mark, and I appreciate this time. I think we all know that the Royals, they have openly communicated, we want a new stadium. The Royals are not going to be playing at Kauffman Stadium 10 years from now. Let me ask you this question about the Chiefs. Do you see a new stadium for the Chiefs in Missouri, or do you see a very expensive renovation to the structure that they already have?
I see an extremely expensive renovation. I wouldn't say extremely, but I do see an expensive renovation for Arrowhead. I do think they want to make that place really make it a world star stadium and a championship stadium, and I can't blame them for that.
That is Mark Sharp joining us on the show today. He is with the Missouri State of Representatives. He voted yes on this Show Me Sports Investment Act that would help fund a new stadium for the Royals and a very pricey renovation for the Kansas City Chiefs. Mark, it was great talking to you. Look forward to catching up with you down the road, hopefully when we get some good news about what's going on with this thing. Appreciate your time.
I sure hope so. Thanks again.
Absolutely. That is Mark Sharp joining us on the show today. You guys know that I'm going to give you my honest and accurate opinion on what we just heard. We have spent, Rob, probably 30 minutes over the last 2 days talking to the Kansas side and the Missouri side. Hey, one side getting smoked. I don't know how you can hear both sides and come to any other conclusion other than one side has an advantage right now. One side has an advantage. It's clear what side has the advantage. Now, that can change. Let's see if they get this passed. And I do think one thing that is very interesting, and he said that, and Rob, you know this, I've been consistent. I've said this from the very beginning. We don't know what the Chiefs' plan is once we know what the Royals' plan is. Like, once the Royals come out and say, all right, it's over. We're done speculating. We are moving. We will be out of the Truman Sports Complex on this date. What does that mean for the Chiefs? That feels like a very, very important question. If you remember, one of the debates the last time that these two teams had is, well, if you guys move, who's going to pay for the demolition of Kauffman? The Royals want the Chiefs to pay for it because, hey, we're moving. It's now you guys' problem if you want this entire space. The Chiefs want the Royals to pay for it because, wait, it's your stadium. Why don't you guys pay for it? I do think that these are very important questions that we've never really got a clear answer from the football team. The Royals, I think, have given you a very clear answer. We're not going to be here. We don't want a renovation. We don't want to throw more money at this stadium. We want a downtown stadium. The Royals have never moved away from that. I don't think the Chiefs have ever really locked in and told us exactly what they want. They've kind of floated out, well, we might stay. Well, we might go to Kansas. Well, we might build a new one. We might not. So I do think that is a very important footnote in this. But again, it is very clear to me at this point, if we are scoring this like a championship fight, if we are scoring this like a football game, Kansas appears to be up 27-13 right now, heading into the fourth quarter. That's what it sounds like to me. They appear to be up kind of big in this. They seem to have a very clear, concise, and can communicate to us what the plan is. I don't think Missouri can communicate to us what the plan is right now.
I think, and one thing I'm learning from all these conversations, or at least what I'm learning from all the conversations from people we talked to on the Missouri side, is exactly what you just said. It just hinges on the Chiefs, which then comes down to this. What do the Chiefs want? Because Mark Sharp just said it there. You know, once we get the Royals figured out, then the Chiefs have talked about interest in staying at Arrowhead, you know, refurbishing it, and then building a sports entertainment district around the area. Okay, but the Chiefs can do that anywhere. There's a timeline with the Royals where they got to get the Royals out and then do a lot of demolition to get there. Like, I think a lot of these conversations about the future of the Chiefs, more so than the Royals, hinges on one thing. What do the Chiefs want? Do the Chiefs want to put a new Arrowhead or slap a coat of paint on the current Arrowhead and build it at the Truman Sports Complex because they like where they're at? Or do they want to try something new and build a SoFi, but in a different location, which could cost more money? The Chiefs have never really communicated what they want. They put out that, what was it, that survey?
That survey, yeah.
They never came out and told us the results of the survey.
Yeah, like someone real quick, sorry to cut you off here, but someone says, CDOT, if you don't think the Chiefs have been very clear on what they want, then you haven't been paying attention. I mean, the Chiefs put out a 30-minute survey, and it really gave you both options. Hey, if we stay here, how do you guys feel about it? Well, if we move, how would you guys feel about it? I actually think the Chiefs have played this very, very close to the vest. I think the only thing that the Chiefs have been very, very clear on is we expect somebody else to pay for all of this. That's all I think they've been clear on. If their goal was to simply move to Kansas, there's nothing really stopping them from just accepting the deal right now, if that's the case. It's right there for the taking, and the deal, at least according to them, expires in 40 days. You don't need Missouri's permission to go over there if that's what you want. Hey, they're offering you this money. Take this money and build a world-class stadium. There is something that is delaying this process. I think you owe it to yourself to at least hear what Missouri has to say. They are planning on, at least how it sounded, based on what we just heard from Mark Sharp, is we are going to go back. We're going to be a lot more engaging with the St. Louis representatives on this. We expect to get this passed. We expect to have something to go back to the Chiefs and say, here, this is what we can offer you. The Royals, here, this is what we can offer you. So I expect, at least with the Royals, maybe I'm wrong, I think we're going to find out something about the Royals before the 4th of July. I think we're real close to figuring something out with the Royals. I don't know if we are with the Chiefs. I think we are when it comes to the Royals. I don't think we're that far off from having a much clearer picture of what the Royals' plans are.
I would say, to your point, though, I don't think we can have a Chiefs plan until we have a Royals plan. Like, if they're to stay in Jackson County. Because we've talked about this in the show. The only place that it really makes sense in Jackson County for Arrowhead is where Arrowhead is, which means you have to have a solid plan about the Royals and a timeline on the Royals before you can make any movement. It also sounds to me like, and I know Mark Sharp, similar to yesterday, Dan Hawkins, going to come on and portray confidence and da-da-da. The fact that the way Mark Sharp described it is we have some people who aren't acting like adults that killed one bill, and that bill caused this other bill to die, and we got to make sure we get this thing done first, and then maybe we can get this thing done, does not inspire the same confidence as a special session as Kansas saying, hey, it's June 30th, this is the date, here, figure it out. Like, there's a lot of variables at play here on the Missouri side, but you're right. If we don't get a conclusion on the Royals soon, we're never getting a conclusion on the Chiefs, and it just feels like in that moment, in that scenario, that's when Kansas swoops in because Missouri can't figure it out.
Someone on the text line says, and we'll keep talking about this after the other side of the break, if Clark Hunt wanted to renovate, he would upgrade the players' facility that they've been giving F grades on. They want a new stadium. I'm not entirely sure of that. And this is just not me from my Missouri bias speaking. I'm not 100% convinced about this. I think the Chiefs are simply somebody that wants the best deal possible. I think they want the best deal possible. I think we've seen enough evidence of the Chiefs are going to go where the money is. So maybe the money is on the Missouri side. Hey, we like where we are. We've got this historic, traditional the state of Missouri is going to give us $1.5 billion to renovate this thing exactly how we want to. Our goal is to stay here. Again, I'm not saying that I've told you guys from the beginning, I think the Royals are moving to downtown, and I think ultimately the Chiefs are going to move out by the Legends. So that's what I think the favorite is. I think that's the most likely thing. But I do think that you are going to see the Chiefs wait to see how this thing plays out with Missouri and exactly how much money they are going to be willing to offer them to completely renovate Arrowhead, and not that half-assed one they proposed a year ago, the one that didn't make any sense, the one that no one was excited about. No, I think they're going to get serious cash this time to do a Soldier Field, Lambeau Field type renovation out at Arrowhead. I think we have to figure out how much money that's going to be. We can keep talking about this because there was one part of this story that just blows my mind. Keep it right here. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Cosentino's food stores are celebrating 77 years of serving Kansas City. Come in today for incredible anniversary savings across the store. You'll find some of the hottest prices of the year, now through May 20th only. From fresh produce to family favorites, don't miss the unbeatable prices at every Cosentino's location. For 77 years, it's been our family's honor to serve yours, and we're just getting started.
Bankruptcy, foreclosure, bad divorce? Don't worry. Rawhide Harley is now considering all credit applications. Couldn't get financed before? Don't worry. No perfect credit, no cash down, no problem. Get financed on a new Harley today. Visit rawhideharley.com.
On approved credit.
Hello all, Steve here with Connolly Plumbing Solutions, your neighborhood plumber. It's springtime.
Yay! This is when we start working in our yards. Be careful that your outside faucet didn't burst over the winter. Maybe you've discovered that it doesn't work very well. This month we are offering an outside faucet replacement special with access for only $3.99. So call Connolly Plumbing Solutions at 913-768-7676 or visit ConnollyPlumbingSolutions.com to schedule.
Gear? Check. Snacks? Check. Tires? Not so much. I didn't have time to deal with this, so I asked my friend. Her answer was simple. Take it to Telly, she said, and I'm so glad I did. They didn't just take care of my tires, they took care of me. We got you, they said, and they did. Fast, friendly, and stress-free. Now I know when life throws you a red card, take it to Telly. Stay in the game. Take it to Telly.
Losing your family's home movies and photos would be devastating. That's why Legacy Box exists, to preserve your family's recorded moments digitally, ensuring they're safe forever. Think of the time and money your family invested to capture family vacations, birthdays, even your wedding. Recording a lifetime of memories was a commitment. Camcorders cost thousands, and cameras required film and development. Legacy Box is the final step to preserve your family's past. Thankfully, it doesn't require another big investment. Legacy Box is safe, simple, and affordable. Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box to convert their analog media to digital. You owe it to your family to safeguard your memories. Become your family's hero and save them before it's too late. For a limited time, Legacy Box is offering an exclusive discount when you go to legacybox.com/value. That's legacybox.com/value.
For more than half a century, contractors and trade professionals have relied on WeatherGuard for heavy-duty truck and van storage equipment, not just to protect their tools, but to protect their professional reputations. Whether it's inside or outside of work vehicles, a WeatherGuard badge means pros can trust that their hard-earned name is in good hands. Since 1968 and every day since, WeatherGuard has been protecting anything it takes to build a professional reputation. WeatherGuard, established in 1968, proven every day. WeatherGuard.com.
Still getting around to that fix on your car? You got this. On eBay, you'll find millions of parts guaranteed to fit. Doesn't matter if it's a major engine repair or your first time swapping your windshield wipers. eBay has that part you need, ready to click perfectly into place for changes big and small. Loud or quiet, find all the parts you need at prices you'll love, guaranteed to fit every time. But you already know that. eBay, things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
There's a crash southbound 435 at the on-ramp from Front Street, stopping traffic. Slowdowns behind it. Eastbound 70 is slow out of the 435 exchange. And that two-car crash closing the left lane of northbound 35 just past Shawnee Mission Parkway. Things are heavy back to 69 Highway there. And on the Kansas side, finally cleared that collision northbound 435 before Kansas Avenue, but still seeing backups pretty much back to Johnson Drive. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5, The Fan Traffic.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5, The Fan.
I do think that this next cut is really, really interesting. I think it's very interesting and gives you some insight on potentially why things have worked so differently in Missouri than they have in Kansas. Now, I'm not going to make it seem like I'm completely well-versed in Kansas politics, but I have done enough reading and we have talked to enough people that everybody in Kansas appears to be fighting the same fight. Yes, this is more of a eastern side of the state fight than a western side, but Rob, we haven't really seen any stories. Well, hey, the people on the west side of it don't really see a value in having the Chiefs move to our state. They seem to be, hey, if we got a chance to do this, we are all on the same team. I want what is in the best interest of the state of Kansas. Let's go do it. You were telling me that Kansas City, the Jackson County area, is not only fighting Wyandotte County, is not only fighting Johnson County, it's also got to fight St. Louis and the Boot Hill. All right, well, it makes sense why Missouri seems like they're getting thumped right now.
There's the human element, right? You have folks that are upset because, folks in St. Louis may not necessarily care about what's happening in Kansas City. All they know is my project for $50 million didn't get funded to help this hospital out. So you have folks who are upset, and I get being upset, but we had a chance. And again, the Missouri House approved this measure. This all unfolded and really kind of went up in smoke in the Missouri Senate. You had folks on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, that were, and again, these were not Kansas City folks. These were folks that were from different parts of the state. Folks in Kansas City were in lockstep. We wanted to make sure that we supported our teams. Representative Chris Brown, who I believe was the sponsor of the amendment on the House side, said it best. I mean, these are Missouri teams, and they need to stay in Missouri. So we feel that way. Unfortunately, we're going to have to make some folks happy, it looks like, with Senate Bill 19 and trying to pump some life back into that before we can see any action taken further.
I understand this is politics. You guys know that I'm in the middle of watching House of Cards. This is basically the plot of House of Cards. All they do is trade favors. That's the entire show. I want this thing done. Well, if you vote for me on this thing, I'll look out for you on this thing. We're doing that about the Chiefs and the Royals? Maybe that's what's happening in Kansas. At least they're keeping it quiet. I don't believe that everything has gone perfect on that side. I mean, you got a lot of people, a lot of different agendas, a lot of different beliefs, but man, at least they give the public appearance of we're all fighting for what we think is in the best interest of the state. I'm not getting that sense from the Missouri side at all. Again, it seems like Jackson County and Kansas City, Missouri, seems like they're in an uphill battle. We got to fight Johnson County, Wyandotte County, St. Louis County. I don't know what other counties they got over there. We got to fight all of them off to keep these two teams. It seems like eventually the field simply wins the argument. It's way too many forces pulling in too many different directions. And if your option is, if you're the Chiefs, because I think this is much more of a Chiefs conversation than a Royals conversation. If your option is simple or difficult, forget the money. We are a $10 billion organization. Do you want the simple plan or the complicated plan? A lot of people usually pick the simple plan, and one side, their plan seems far more simple than the other one.
The fact that he said, we have to do some things to bolster up projects and bills that people on the Missouri side, and he went on later to say that other people on the Boot Hill of Missouri, we have to do things to bolster up their projects, and then maybe we'll circle back and get our project funded for the stadiums. I get that's politicking, but if the state of Missouri has to bend over backwards to make St. Louis County and what is Missouri and Columbia and Boone County and what's Springfield and all those counties.
Doing a lot. Yeah, we're doing a lot, bro.
If we got to make the Boot Hill happy to keep the Arrowhead, it doesn't make sense to me. And maybe this is me seeing things through my Kansas lens. Yesterday, Dan Hawkins on the show. You know what he admitted? I live in Wichita. And he was on here singing the praises of keeping the Chiefs and the Royals coming to Kansas. You know, Wichita isn't going to see any benefit from that. Wichita will change none. And yet he was on the show being like, this is great. Then the Missouri State rep came on and said, well, yeah, we didn't really help St. Louis out with a different bill, so they tanked this one. Huh?
Yeah, it doesn't make no sense. These are the people that I'm supposed to have faith and confidence in to get this thing through. I'm losing it. Mark did sound confident. Oh, we're going to work together. Y'all ain't been working together for a year. Now, all of a sudden, we're going to start working together? Okay, I guess. We'll see what happens. I'm not confident. I'm not optimistic about any of those things. I just want to give you guys the information. Let me read a stat to you guys here very quickly. I actually earlier had a conversation with Sam Stevie from the news talk station, and he was like, why do you hate Xavier Worthy? And I was like, I was confused. Like, what are you talking about? I don't hate Xavier Worthy. He's like, why are you tweeting that stat about him? I was like, I just thought the stat was kind of interesting, and I thought other people would want to know. Last year, for Xavier Worthy's targets, 70% of Xavier Worthy's targets last season traveled 9 yards or fewer down the field. If you want my answer on what I would like to see change most with the Chiefs offense, and this probably comes with more timing, more experience, more chemistry between Mahomes and Xavier Worthy, I imagine this also is improved by a better offensive line, so just more time to sit in the pocket, more time to let routes develop. I don't know if the Chiefs really tackled the downfield ability with Xavier Worthy last year. If there is a wrinkle in his game that I would love to see for this upcoming season, and how this offense can get back some of its explosiveness and big plays and just fear with the Chiefs offense. There was a time that we used to compare the Chiefs offense to Golden State. I'm talking about Golden State when they had Clay in their prime, Steph Curry in their prime, and Kevin Durant. You guys remember some of those third quarter runs the Chiefs would go on. I mean, bop, 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 and they scored 28 points in the quarter, and the fourth quarter was easy. It's been a while since we've seen the offense flourish like that. Well, you got a Ferrari in Xavier Worthy, the fastest player to ever go to the combine. You got a Ferrari. You got to start driving it like a Ferrari. And completing or attempting 70% of his passes are underneath and intermediate stuff. That's not why you drafted Xavier Worthy. You went out and you got a 5'10" speedster to be a down the field, big play, big threat kind of receiver. So if there's one thing that I want to see from the offense next year, and you think once you get a healthy group back where you got Rashee Rice, you got Hollywood Brown, you got a better offensive line, I want to see more pop. I want to see more sizzle. I want to see more big play ability from the Chiefs. And that starts with unlocking Xavier Worthy. You go get Xavier Worthy to take the top off of the defense. And some of it was just timing. Some of it was just football IQ and awareness issues that Xavier Worthy had last year. They just didn't have enough of those kind of plays in their arsenal last year. Coming up on the other side, we'll continue to talk about the Chiefs. Joe Thuney has signed a new contract with the Chicago Bears. What does that mean? We'll discuss it. Keep it right here. So drive.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Two-car crash closing that left lane northbound 35 just past Shawnee Mission Parkway, and a collision southbound 35 at the on-ramp from Front Street, stopping traffic, seeing slowdowns there. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Have you or a loved one been diagnosed with cancer? You want the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. That's KCPI, the Kansas City Proton Institute. KCPI has a full suite of the most advanced imaging and treatment technology necessary to localize high-intensity proton beams. That's a critical part of maximizing cure rates while minimizing recovery time and long-term side effects. Proton therapy provides patients with the most advanced form of radiation treatments for cancer. It destroys cancer cells with supreme accuracy, reducing the risk of harmful side effects. KCPI has Kansas City's first and only system that uses pencil beam technology, resulting in precision targeting and less radiation to your surrounding healthy tissue. Proton therapy is now available in the comfort of an office at KCPI, making it more efficient and affordable than a hospital. So contact KCPI for the most knowledgeable physicians with the latest technology. Don't wait. Get precision technology with the highest safety measures with KCPI. Online at kcpi.com.
Robsite Ford. Non-commissioned staff, low prices, best trade-ins, and the biggest selection. Visit robsite.com.
When it comes to buying a car, simple wins. Robsite Ford has the inventory, the trade values, and the non-commissioned team that puts you first. No pressure, just 4.8 stars on Google for a reason. ROBSIGHT.com.
Hi, Mia here at the winnings desk of the Missouri Lottery. With 56 million winning tickets last year, anyone can win big. So set your destination to winning, like gas stations, grocery stores, or anywhere you can buy a ticket. The Missouri Lottery. Winners welcome and play responsibly.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
Ring the bell! We've done it again. Golden Oak Lending has lowered rates to 4.875 fixed. Lower your monthly payment, get cash out, pay off credit cards, and best of all, make no mortgage payments for 2 months. Lock in this incredible 4.875 rate and get your cash in as little as 14 days. Call 913-890-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.81 APR, FHA, 15-year, 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
If severe weather hit you last year, don't worry. Century Roofing is here.
We have extended our free material upgrade sale on all roof replacements to celebrate our 35th anniversary. We'll provide an in-depth inspection to determine if enough damage exists to warrant filing a claim with your insurance company. See for yourself why Century Roofing has been voted Best of Johnson County for the 3rd year in a row. Trust the pillars of strength. KC-based and female-owned. Century Roofing, KC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
I'm McCall from Lee Summit Subaru, and we're committed to helping our community through the Subaru Love Promise, like our commitment to Hillcrest Transitional Housing to help solve homelessness. Lee Summit Subaru also sponsors several pet adoption clinics like Midwest Animal Rescue and events each year, such as Dogtoberfest. It's all part of the Subaru Love Promise, and we're committed to helping our community fall in love with driving again at Lee Summit Subaru. LeeSummitSubaru.com.
In 1950, my great-grandpa started Gunter Pest Control, and 75 years later, we're still Kansas City's highest-rated team of local experts. With decades of experience, our team has perfected the treatment plan to keep your home free from bugs, rodents, and termites. Gunter protects your home, but also the environment. Our treatments are safe for pets and kids, and our electric service vehicles are charged in our solar-powered garage. Go Gunter, go green.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-518-3899. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-518-3899. That's 800-518-3899. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
John, what do you think about these tariffs? What do you think is going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. The prices on used cars have suddenly come up because the cost has gone up. And at GimmeTheVin.com, we're paying more. Go to GimmeTheVin.com, put in your license plate, and see for yourself. We're paying more today than we were yesterday. Remember, the tariffs have raised the car prices, and we are paying extra. GimmeTheVin.com, America's best car buyer. Sell us your car.
Sell us your car. GimmeTheVin.com. So easy you can do it in your underwear.
Hey there, Royals fans. We've got more ways to watch your boys in blue this season than ever before with FanDuel Sports Network. Subscribe directly to FanDuel Sports Network to stream all the action, or, new this season, Royals Baseball is now available on Amazon Prime Video as an add-on subscription. You can also access FanDuel Sports Network through TV providers like DirecTV, Spectrum, Xfinity, Fubo, and more. Visit Royals.com/TV to learn more.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and watch all the shows from your phone, desktop, or tablet. Your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
Congratulations on getting through your 9 to 5. Thank you so much for listening. It is The Drive. You were listening to The Drive on 96.5 The Fan, 96.5thefan.com, and also the Odyssey app. We have had a lot happen in today's show. If you missed it, we had a Missouri State rep join us on the show. We'll play the best of that conversation for you guys coming up at 5:30. We played the Kansas rep yesterday, so I want you guys on your drive home to hear what the Missouri side had to say. We had Dan Hawkins on the show yesterday, and today we had Mark Sharp on the show. We'll play that for you in just a little bit. Before we get into some of the top stories, let's talk about some breaking news in the National Football League. The NFL and the owners unanimously voted that their players will be allowed to participate in flag football in the 2028 Olympics. So the Olympics are going to be in Los Angeles. That will be July 14th through the 30th. In Los Angeles, and for the first time in the Olympic history, they are adding flag football. Patrick Mahomes was asked about this now 2 years ago. He was asked about this in November of 2023, and he said that he'd be interested in participating in the Olympics.
Oh, I definitely want to, but I've seen some of those guys play the flag football, and they're a little faster than I am. I know there's not like there's not like linemen blocking for you, so I'll be 31, 32 years old. So if I can still move around, then I'm gonna try to get out there and throw the football around. Maybe in LA, just don't tell Coach Reed or Veach or anybody.
Now, I am a little bit torn on this. On one side, I don't think that NFL players should be allowed to participate in the Olympics. Now, I understand that playing in the Olympics is really cool. And I understand that this is something that no group of NFL players have ever had the opportunity. I bet it's really cool to be an Olympic athlete. You get to be in the Olympic Village. You get to participate in the opening ceremonies. Like, there are a lot of advantages, I'm guessing. From a brand building standpoint, if you are an NFL player, it seems like a really good time to participate in the Olympics. I don't really think that it fits the competition of spirit and what I think the purpose of the Olympics are. Football is not an international and world game the way that so many other sports that we have are. Swimming is international. Track and field is international. Basketball, baseball, tennis. We are talking about international games. That's not what tackle football is. So I just don't see the overwhelming benefits from a competitive standpoint in allowing these people the opportunity to compete in a sport in which we know they're going to dominate. What country are you guys worried about in the Olympics? Is there another country that you think can keep up with the United States if their plan is to send Lamar Jackson and whoever the star running back is in 3 years? They're going to send Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, Patrick Surtain. What country do you think is the biggest challenger to them? It is okay that football is different. It's not baseball. Baseball is a truly international game. The best player in the world is from Japan. In basketball, the best player in the world is from Serbia. The player who is going to win NBA MVP is from Toronto, Canada. That's not what tackle football is. So now we're going to allow these guys to go and they're going to dominate accountants and plumbers from Spain? I just don't think it really makes a lot of sense from a competitive standpoint. This is where I feel hypocritical because on one side, I do feel that way. I don't think that the NFL players should be allowed to go. I think it violates what the spirit of the award is. It feels like just a cheap gold medal for the United States. We're not talking about this being a true competition. This is a commercial for the NFL. I don't think that's what the Olympics should be. I don't have a problem with Patrick going if he wants to go. I'm going to guess. I don't know. I don't know all the official flag football rules, and they are in the process of creating what they're going to be for the Olympics. I'm assuming that they're not really going to have the quarterbacks running a whole lot in this thing. I'm just going to go out on a limb and guess. If the NFL has said yes, they're not letting Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson really run around in these things. I'm guessing it's going to be very light 7-on-7 passing drills for Patrick Mahomes. And if Pat wants to go to LA for a week and throw the ball to Tyreek Hill again or throw the ball to Jamar Chase or whomever that star receiver is in 3 years, and we're talking about a zero risk situation, I mean, he's not running. He's not cutting. These are just light passing drills. This is basically Camp Pat that they're going to televise on NBC. I don't really have much of an issue with this. I will be very curious to see how serious NFL teams take this. So the rule is going to be that they are going to allow one player per team, and it sounds like they are also going to be open to creating a salary cap provision if a player gets hurt during this time. So if you send Malik Neighbors over there and he tears his ACL, there's going to be a salary cap provision for Malik Neighbors because he technically got hurt in a non-football. You guys know the spirit of the rule that they have. So we'll obviously see what happens. I don't have a problem if Patrick wants to participate in this. It seems like a very low-risk situation for him. I just think that it violates what the spirit of the Olympics is. Football is not like the other sports that we watch in terms of international interest and competition. This is a way for the United States to go bully these other teams in flag football against players that we have never heard of before. I just don't, that's just not what I think the Olympics should be. Where are you at, Rob? You want this?
So we talked about it yesterday. I'm torn. Because on the one side, I agree with you. The spirit of the Olympics is competition and camaraderie. It's not to bring our sport and just throttle everyone. That is not the purpose. But I would tell you that I'm sure in '92, when basketball made the Olympics and the NBA players got to play in it, the thought was they're about to throttle everyone. And they did. They humiliated everyone. But since that moment, and it is not just me saying this, it is a lot of smart basketball people say, that's when the international games started picking up because other sports started playing the sport. So if you're Roger Goodell or you're one of the owners of the NFL and you want your sport to be viewed on the same international scale as soccer or basketball or golf or one of those sports is, you have to have people from Germany playing it. More than just the handful that do the international gate pathway thing for the NFL. You got to have people in Venezuela playing it. You got to get people in Canada playing your version of it, not Canadian football. So I agree with you on the whole. In 2028, it's about to be a bloodshed. It's about to look bad. It's about to be if me and you play 2-on-2 against some kindergartners. Just a bad look. But I think the NFL and football as an entity's hope is that in 10 to 14, 16, however many Olympic years down the road, it does look competitive. And now, hey, suddenly Brazil, who has seen NFL games and now watches the Olympics, fields a team that suddenly does have a level of competition with the United States. So I get both sides. I lean your direction, but I don't think it's a bad thing to have in the Olympics. And I also think, for that 92 example, the Dream Team, it became growing in other countries, not because Christian Laettner and the best college players went over there. It grew because Charles Barkley and Michael Jordan were over there.
Well, yeah, but I also think there are just other fundamental things that I just don't think that we are discussing. Like someone on the text line says, wouldn't basketball have been the same? I mean, there were good international players before. Now, right, we saw a growth of it through then. I mean, we saw a growth in basketball to the point where, I mean, the third time that the United States sent NBA players over there, they lost the gold medal. So we are talking about this happened in a very short period of time where the United States went from overwhelming dominance in the Olympics in '92 to losing the gold medal the third time that they went over there. I also think what is a very important conversation in this is, how many kids do you need to play football at a high level overseas? Because in basketball, it's very different. You need 12 kids to play basketball overseas, right? Like if you're in Spain, you need 12, 15 kids to play basketball. You need the numbers that I think you need to play football in other countries. I just think they've already decided what sport they want to play. They play soccer in these countries. That's what they do. Their best athletes, they push them in one direction. Go play soccer. They've been playing NFL football for a long time. They've been playing the NFL for 100 years. Rob, who's the quarterback not from America? Who's the running back not from America? Who's the wide receiver? Who's the tight end? It's not like international basketball players is a new concept. We can name them in the 90s. Now there started to be more and more and more. If you're telling me that you think that the flag football is going to do more for the international mission than playing regular season games over there, they've been playing international games for how long? It's not like the international games just started. They've been playing games in London for 15 years. Where is the influx of quarterbacks and running backs and tight ends and D tackles that are doing this? Football's is not that game. Football's our thing, and that's cool that it's our thing. That's a big reason why it's so popular in America, is there's one pathway, really, to go to the NFL. You go to an American high school, you're really good at that American high school. You go to an American college, you're really good, and then you go to the NFL. That's not how it is in the NBA or baseball or some of these other sports. So I just don't know why we need to act like it is those other sports. It doesn't make sense to me to have the United States, the professional players. Now, sure, if you want to create an amateur league and, hey, we're going to create a flag football for guys that didn't go pro. Hey, you guys go through this little set of things, and we're going to send these guys against these. That's, to me, what the spirit of the Olympics is. But watching Justin Jefferson go up against some guy from Egypt, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, we already know what's about to happen. He's about to cook this individual. That guy has no ability to guard Justin Jefferson. None. This just seems like a waste of everybody's time. We can move on from this. There's certainly a lot of other things happening. I just wanted to give you guys my opinion on this breaking news that the NFL is going to allow their players to participate in flag football. Rob, let's talk about Joe Thuney for our first hit.
Your workday is over. Oh, yeah. You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Carrington, as always, hits are brought to you by Baker University, where graduates earn higher salaries and land jobs faster than any other university in Kansas. Apply today at bakeru.edu. Well, as you mentioned, Carrington, former Chiefs left guard Joe Thuney, current Bears left guard, has a new deal with the Chicago Bears, but we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty about his extension in Chicago because who cares?
I actually think we do need to get into the nitty-gritty of it. This is actually a pretty good deal, I would say, for Joe Thuney. He has signed a 3-year, $51 million deal that guarantees him $33.5 million. Now, if you were looking at that through the same lens of what we just saw Trey Smith get, Trey Smith right now has a 1-year contract for the Kansas City Chiefs that guarantees him $23.4 million. So, I think it is twofold. Number one, the Chiefs desperately need to reach a long-term extension with Trey Smith. He cannot play this season as a right guard with a $23.4 million cap hit. He cannot do this. You have to work something out that lowers his cap hit, that allows you some financial flexibility, because you made a pretty difficult decision. I know that Joe Thuney is up there in age. Joe Thuney is still one of the best offensive linemen in the National Football League. And you made the decision to move on for that player largely due to finances. It was not because of production. You moved on from this player because of the money. You didn't want to give him this extension. You do want to extend Trey Smith. Well, then extend Trey Smith. And now we got to see what that extension looks like. The Chiefs are taking a little bit of a gamble here. The Chiefs are taking a gamble on, we are going to make the right decision, at least in the short term, on moving on from Joe Thuney versus keeping Trey Smith. They also have made the decision, well, some of this money that we didn't give to Joe Thuney, we gave some of that to Jalen Moore, and we think that now he can be an every down starter in the National Football League. We don't have that answer. There are a lot of things, I would say, with the Chiefs that feel like certainties at this point. If Isaiah Pacheco is healthy, I think we know what to expect from Isaiah Pacheco. I think we know what to expect from their wide receivers. I think we know what to expect from their defensive line. There are a lot of areas on this team that I think there is a high degree of certainty. I don't think anybody can tell you about their offensive line, not even them. Jalen Moore has never been a consistent starter in the National Football League. You are now asking him to be that. We're not talking about a spot star here or there for Trent Williams. No, we've given you the job now. We're talking about you playing games in December. We're talking about you playing games in January and February, and you being an anchor for a Super Bowl team. Kingsley Suamataia, we're talking about a guy who flamed out pretty badly at the first thing they asked him to do. Now you're asking him to do something different. Now we'll see if he can have success, and it is easier to play left guard than it is to play left tackle in the National Football League, but still he is an uncertainty going into the season. The Chiefs have a lot of either periods or exclamation points on their team. They do have a few question marks. They got 2 big question marks at left tackle and left guard. They don't have a lot of question marks on their team. That's how you go 15-2 in the regular season and go to a 3rd consecutive Super Bowl. There's not a lot of uncertainty about this team. But a major reason of why they didn't win the Super Bowl last year was uncertainty at left tackle. They still have uncertainty at left tackle. And the reason that they created and moved the deck chairs around was because they made the decision to move on from Joe Thuney. I didn't think they were going to do that. I thought they were going to do basically what Chicago did. Let's extend him. Let's move the money down the line. And then let's use the cap space that we have to try to strengthen the rest of our roster. I mean, that's not what they did with Joe Thuney. They just outright traded him and then used that cap space to go out and do some different moves. So I actually think that all of the money matters with Joe Thuney, how they spent the money, how they allocated those resources, and ultimately we'll find out if they were right or wrong in how they handled their offensive line this offseason.
I think the $1 million question, and I can ask you the $1 million question, but you probably don't have an answer. The $1 million question is this. Would you rather have Joe Thuney at that contract and Suamataia at right guard, or would you rather have Suamataia at left guard and Trey Smith at maybe not that contract, but a very, very hefty contract? That is the question that we are going to ask, and the Chiefs are going to have to answer, and they're going to have to get right. Because if Joe Thuney is still got a lot of football up in his body and he's quality, and Trey Smith never lives up to his contract, then the Chiefs messed up this offseason. I don't care about Simmons versus Jalen Moore. If they took the worst player and made him the more expensive player, then the Chiefs messed up. It really boils down to that for me along their offensive line. And now that we know the number for Joe Thuney, it's something the Chiefs should have probably done on March 21st, or at least I would like the Chiefs to have done that on March 20, I guess not 21st, but 20 whatever when free agency opened up.
Yeah, I mean, I was very interested in keeping Joe Thuney. I think they were too. I just think they simply made a decision. You can't pay everybody, and they made the decision that Joe Thuney is just not someone that we are going to pay. I don't think they're wrong in that decision. And if you were telling me or explaining the logic where the Chiefs made the decision, we have a 25-year-old guard that we love and a 33-year-old guard that we love, and we can only pick one of them, I think they made the right decision. You take the 25-year-old, and then you move on and you take the draft pick compensation. But, I mean, it is a chance. It is a gamble. The Chiefs have a question mark on the left side of their offensive line the exact same way that they had heading into the Super Bowl, and we'll see as time progresses if those question marks turn into periods or exclamation points. What's hit number 2?
Number 2.
Speaking of the Kansas City Chiefs, Carrington, hit number 2 is kind of about the Chiefs. It's the other side of the state, which we've spent a lot of time talking about today when it comes to the show. But the STL Hub, whatever that is, was talking about the Chiefs and the schedule on their show, and they are, as St. Louisans, upset by one thing with the Chiefs.
Brooke, you know what? One thing I hate?
What?
I hate the fact that the Kansas City Chiefs are just shoved down St. Louis's throat because they want this market so badly. And so they make it so that all of their games are on TV in St. Louis. It's terrible. I hate it. Yes.
That's
I hate
what people do.
So, I mean, I get the schedule yesterday. So last night. You know, they've got 8 games, the Chiefs, Kansas City Chiefs. They have 8 standalone games, 7 in primetime, 1 on Thanksgiving, that apparently are being directed only to St. Louis. 8 of them.
Apparently.
Plus 4 more. They're playing the Broncos, the Ravens, the Bills, and the Eagles. They're all playing them at 3:25 in the afternoon. And it's only apparently going to like 5% of the country because they're trying to shove the Chiefs down our throat.
Well, yeah, you didn't know that.
12 of their 16 games that are scheduled to this.
They're trying to force you to be a Chiefs fan. Whether you want to or not, you have to be a Chiefs fan if you live here in St. Louis. It's Missouri's team, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's why I'm really mad that I don't know why they do this to us. It would be different if the Chiefs were any good and they got any national TV games. But apparently we're only getting like Sunday night football, Monday night football, Thursday night football, Thanksgiving football. We only get those here in St. Louis. The rest of the country is not having the Chiefs shoved down their throat.
Carrington, is it fair or foul by this STL Hub to feel like the Chiefs, Kansas City's team, are being jammed down their throat? Or is this just what happens because the Chiefs are on national TV so often?
Are you interested in watching the best? If you're interested in watching the best, why are you against watching Chiefs games? This is a cycle that we see in all sports. They're going to showcase the best. We watch a lot of college football, Rob. They put a lot of the Alabama games on at night. A lot of the Ohio State games get nationally televised attention. They get the best broadcasters, the biggest crowds. They get game day because they're the best. We have enough evidence of who the best is in the National Football League, who drives interest, who drives the attention. It's the Chiefs. So if you don't want the Chiefs on TV all the time, there's a couple of things you can do. Number one, I would advocate for you to get the Sunday ticket. And when the Chiefs are playing at 3:25 and they've got the national game of the week, you know, Nance is on the call, Romo is on the call, they usually have a game opposite of that. I mean, it's going to be Cardinals Raiders. Only about 2% of the country is going to have access to that game. But you can watch Cardinals Raiders. Maybe you don't want to get Sunday ticket. Why don't you pull up Stream East and you can watch the game opposite the Chiefs? Or do you want to watch the best? The best quarterbacks, the best coaches, the best defenses, the best teams, the best storylines. Well, then you're going to be watching the Chiefs. You had your chance for your own 325 games in St. Louis. They moved. So, no, you're going to sit back and you're going to watch the Chiefs. You're going to enjoy the Chiefs. You're going to love the Chiefs. Or if not, you know what I would suggest you do? I would find a new hobby on Sundays. Because you only have two choices, Sunday at 325 anymore if you live in this country and you want to watch football. You want to watch the Cowboys or the Chiefs? 1 week you can watch the Cowboys. Maybe we'll give you the Eagles on Fox. Or whenever it's an AFC game, you watching the Chiefs. Every 325, you're watching the Chiefs. So, I don't know what to tell you. Get used to it. Because you got another decade to go of watching Chiefs games. You got another decade to go if you want to keep up with the Kansas City Chiefs. All right, coming up on the other side, we had a Missouri State rep on the show earlier today. We're going to play the best of that conversation for you. We had a Kansas rep on yesterday. We want to keep that going, and we're going to play the Missouri rep for you guys today. Keep it right here. It's The Drive on 96.5 The Fan.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey hockey fans, ready for the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals? Get in on the action throughout hockey's most exciting time of the year with BetMGM, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Sign up or log in for odds boost tokens and more throughout the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals. And that's not all. With BetMGM, you'll have access to countless NHL betting options, including new-look same-game parlays, teasers, live bets, and so much more. Follow the action and excitement of every goal and every game throughout the 2025 Stanley Cup Finals with BetMGM. Just sign up or log in today, and you'll be on your way to all of the NHL action throughout the postseason. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards vary and expire in 1 to 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Real stories with Hellsberg.
After we met and we started dating, Nancy and I lived 150 miles apart, and I would drive my old jalopy car, and it was roughly a 3-hour distance. It took 3 years I drove across that state back and forth dating her every weekend.
Persistence.
And I would have never stopped. I had a lot of energy back then, 36 years ago.
At Hellsberg, find the engagement ring worthy of your story. Designed with the love, care, and craft it deserves. Visit a Hellsberg store or hellsberg.com.
If you're looking for that new career path, have you thought about IT? Think about IT. It's needed in every single industry, whether it's sports, healthcare, construction, manufacturing, you name it, and Centric can help you get there.
No better time in the city either. KC Tech Council has 3,000 IT jobs open in March alone. 3,000. Centric can train you to do one of those jobs.
We've told you about our friend Russ Mondry and his expertise in this field. Over 16 years at Centric. He's going to help you find that career path. So go to Centric.com.
Get ready for summer's heat with a $69 AC tune-up from Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Our expert technicians will make sure your system is working at peak efficiency to help you save money on energy costs. At Hamilton, we know how important your family's comfort is. Our exceptional service guarantee, plus over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews, are great reasons to trust Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter. Visit callhamilton.com for detailed terms and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, because you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things, people, love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings. Because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up Oscar!
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric. A crash southbound 435 on the Metro's northeast side. It's the on-ramp from Front Street, stopping traffic. Heavy out of downtown eastbound 70, and still seeing some delays behind a 2-car crash northbound 35. Just past Shawnee Mission Parkway, closing the left lane. Money Back Guarantees, parts and labor warranties mean you aren't just buying products, you're securing your investment. For a limited time, receive a free furnace when you purchase an AC. Schedule your complimentary proposal online at anthonyphc.com. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
Hey Kansas City, it's Bobby Witt Jr. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan.
All right, earlier today we had on Mark Sharp. He is in the Missouri House of Representatives. Yesterday we had somebody from the Kansas side on, so I want to be balanced and I want to give you guys the Missouri side of this. So there is a bill right now that is being proposed that would fund the Royals Stadium and would also help pay for renovations at Arrowhead. This bill failed, and they are working on having a special session to get things back up. We had Mark Sharp on the show to talk about this. Here he is on why this bill passed in the House of Representatives, but ultimately failed in the Missouri Senate.
Oh, yeah. Everyone in Jeff City, especially in that building, understands why it didn't pass. It didn't pass because people don't want to support the Chiefs or the Royals or any other future endeavors, maybe on the St. Louis side, that this program could take on. But there was a bill, and some folks probably don't know this, but Senate Bill 19 was a humongous omnibus capital improvements bill that contained, more than 60 plus capital improvement projects across the state. And that bill died, basically because some folks weren't getting along, and essentially the House Budget Chairman killed that bill. Now, folks are very upset about this, and they should be. So the plan now is essentially we're waiting for the governor to call a date for us to come back to Jeff City. One, we need to go back and approve that Senate Bill 19, make sure that legislators are happy again, and then we can pull up the Chiefs and Royals funding project. project. But that's kind of where we're at right now. We're playing this waiting game.
I don't know. It hits my ear kind of funny. Maybe it hits people's listening this. There's opposition inside Missouri politics on whether or not we want to fight to keep the Royals and the Chiefs. Like you say, there are people in Missouri government that don't support, I guess, keeping the teams or helping fund the teams. It just sounds like that is the exact opposite thing than what is happening in Kansas. Everybody appears to be on the same side. We want the Royals. We want the Chiefs. You don't feel like that's happening in Missouri?
Well, it shouldn't be. It should not be contingent upon other projects being funded. But you have people. There's a human element, right? You have folks that are upset because folks in St. Louis may not necessarily care about what's happening in Kansas City. All they know is my project for $50 million didn't get funded to help this hospital out. So you have folks who are upset, and I get being upset, but we had a chance. And again, the Missouri House approved this measure. This all unfolded and really kind of went up in smoke in the Missouri Senate. You had folks on both sides of the aisle, Democrats and Republicans, that were, and again, these were not Kansas City folks. These were folks that were from different parts of the state. Folks in Kansas City were in lockstep. We wanted to make sure that we supported our teams. Representative Chris Brown, who I believe was the sponsor of the amendment on the House side, said it best. I mean, these are Missouri teams, and they need to stay in Missouri. So we feel that way. Unfortunately, we're going to have to make some folks happy, it looks like, with Senate Bill 19 and trying to pump some life back into that before we can see any action taken further on the Chiefs and Royals. But I do want to say that I feel very confident. I mean, this is the closest that we've been in the Missouri legislature all since the last year and a half, since the Jackson County 3A cent sales tax failed. Last time I was on this show, I was presenting a package that ultimately wasn't picked up, but this new version is a pretty good version. I mean, right now, the Chiefs and the Royals collect about $27 million a year in tax revenue to the state. And so essentially what this bill would do is would bond out the funding for the stadiums, and each year what we would do is we would just recycle the money that comes in from their from the taxes on these stadiums that they bring into the state, and then we use that to pay off the bonds, and that should be about a 20-year process. So depending on how big the project is. So, right now our understanding is that the Royals want to move somewhere within the state, and then our understanding also is that the Arrowhead, the Chiefs would like to expand. To what degree, I'm not sure yet, but those are the things that we're considering, and we should be called back to the state capitol probably in the next couple of weeks.
Right now, we're joined by Mark Sharp. He is in the Missouri House of Representatives. He voted yes on the bill that would fund the Royals and a renovation for the Kansas City Chiefs. So it sounds to me like you are optimistic that there is a plan in place to get everybody on the same page here in the next 30 days to get this thing passed.
Oh, absolutely. And again, this whole thing has been a roller coaster ride. I've been trying to stay optimistic about this. We had a package earlier. It didn't see any traction. Now we have this new package from the governor. And I think it's a pretty good package. I mean, this way we're just recycling the money that comes in from tax dollars and using that same money to pay off the project in hopefully less than 20 years. So that's what we're looking at. I do think that we will be in a place where we can get this approved. When they call a special session, it's not, when I say they, I mean the supermajority, Republican supermajority. When they call us back down there, this all should be lined up. And I'll show be in support to one, pass Senate Bill 19, the Capital Improvements Project, and then also the KC Stadiums package.
I got to ask this question as a skeptic here, as somebody that is listening. I mean, this package has already failed once. This bill has already failed once. What is stopping it from failing again?
Well, again, like insiders in Jeff City know that the real reason why Senate Democrats and some Senate Republicans, again, not from Kansas City, were filibustering that portion of the bill in Senate Bill 80 was because capital improvement projects in their districts, and that could be in rural Missouri, or that could be in St. Louis, or that could be in the Boot Hill. It doesn't really matter. Those folks were more upset about their projects being essentially mixed from one person, and because of people not getting along. Jeff City, it's supposed to be a place for adults, but sometimes you have childish things that happen, and Senate Bill 19 shouldn't have died. So I think we need to get that done first, and then we can go ahead and try to bring up this Senate Bill 80 again for another vote.
Yesterday, we had a representative on for the state of Kansas. Want to try to get both sides, I guess, comments, opinions on this. He categorized it as Kansas is in the driver's seat for both of the teams. Do you guys on the Missouri side feel that way? Do you feel like you've lost control of this thing to Kansas?
No, I don't. Now, one thing I will say, I get that this representative, they're trying to, bat for their state, and so I appreciate that rhetoric, but I don't believe that's true. I believe that both teams genuinely want to stay in Missouri. There was another package that was also passed. I'll go ahead and mention it now. That would create a Clay County Sports Commission, similar to what Jackson County has. So they are already laying the groundwork just in case that the Royals do want to move north. They'll have the infrastructure set up to do that. So I do think that we're taking the right steps, and our plan might not be quite as hefty as the Kansas plan, but it's a sweetheart package, and I can't imagine either team's not wanting to take advantage of it.
I was just going to ask you, just looking at this, do you look at these deals as being comparable? Do you see the Kansas deal as being a better one for the teams? Do you see them as equal? If you were looking at both packages, how do you evaluate them against each other? What are the positives? What are the negatives?
Well, I think the Kansas package may be just maybe be a tad sweeter, but not much, not enough to want to relocate. That's for sure. And again, Arrowhead, for Arrowhead to consider staying where they're at, which is a really pretty fairly convenient consideration with all the space they have around there. Imagine Kauffman Stadium, and again, I grew up going to games at FK. I'm not really wild about seeing the stadium knocked down in any capacity, but that might be where we're headed. And if the Royals move to Clay County or move downtown or whatever the case is, the Chiefs are going to have are going to be in a real good position to expand what might be some sort of a sports entertainment district, and I think a lot of folks would be excited about that.
Mark, if you could go back in the last, let's say, year or so, or since the vote failed in Jackson County, what would you do differently? Because, it just doesn't sound like this thing has been a very easy process, where on the other side of the state line, it does sound like it's been pretty straightforward. Hey, we know exactly where the money is going to come from. We did this with the NASCAR Speedway. We had great success. We offer you the exact same deal. One side seems very simple. The other side seems complicated in some ways. If you could go back now, what would you change over the last 12 months?
Well, we don't know what all went into them crafting this legislation on the Kansas side. Fortunately for them, they don't have it. They don't have any professional sports teams outside of the Kansas City Monarchs out there to have this issue with. So they were able to present it in a very well polished whenever they were ready to present it. For us, this did catch us a little off guard. The whole campaign for the 3/8 sales tax last year seemed a bit rushed and hurried. One thing I would say that we should have probably done differently is this package that the governor has set forth. It's a shame that we couldn't have seen it and had a chance to vet that package much earlier in session. It was dropped on us in the last week of session, and I don't think that was intentional. I do think it just took a while for his administration and the powers that be in Jeff City to find something that would be presentable. I don't think that he was trying to hide his pitch, so to speak, before he delivered it.
That was Mark Sharp, who joined us on the show earlier today. If you guys want to hear the interview in its entirety, I would highly encourage you to check it out on 965thefan.com. Also on the Odyssey app. Coming up on the other side, hockey back, basketball back, game 2 of the Royals series against the Giants. We got so much on television tonight. Keep it right here, so drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit ClimateControlKC.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit ClimateControlKC.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here with the Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM, the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
Coming up tonight, Game 1 of the Western Conference Final in pro basketball. Oklahoma City, a 6.5-point home favorite against Minnesota. Total in the game, 217.5, and that total's been rising. And Minnesota, the underdog, has been getting bet. And I agree with the move towards Minnesota. I think this is going to be a close game tonight. Minnesota, a big-time rest advantage. Minnesota can be physical with Oklahoma City. I do disagree with the move on the total, lean towards the under, but my preferred play is Minnesota plus the points, Minnesota plus 6.5 tonight in Game 1 in OKC.
That's it for this Sports Betting Minute, brought to you by BetMGM. Download the BetMGM app and take your game to the next level with the sportsbook born in Vegas. Please gamble responsibly.
BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, where our testosterone therapy can help you sleep better, improve your sex drive, give you better gains in the gym, and more. Please take a moment and listen to how we help this patient.
Hi, my name is Matt. I've been a patient of Heartland Men's Health for over a year now, utilizing their low T treatment. I woke up one day and realized that I was twice the guy I used to be, and my energy was half of what it was. I made the decision to come into Heartland Men's Health just wanting to feel better and trying to find a solution to why I was tired all the time. And the results that I've gotten brought me back to being myself. It brought me back to being the best spouse I can be, to being the best father I can be. Any of my friends that ask me, they see me, they're like, you're a different person, or they're like, what are you doing? Guys, if anything I've said today resonates with you or makes you think that this might be a good place for you to come get checked out, meet with a specialist here and get your life back on track and feeling better.
Thank you. It's true. Call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com.
Memorial Day's here, and Hy-Vee's my one-stop shop for everything for our celebrations. I love heading straight to the meat department for grilling favorites like prime reserve beef and Hy-Vee's famous specialty brats like pineapple or cheddar. And spend more time celebrating and less time prepping with Hy-Vee's full-service catering and ready-to-go meals, including ribs, barbecue chicken, pork, and so many different party trays. And don't forget the adult beverages. Hy-Vee has a huge selection of seltzers, wines, beer, and spirits, all for Memorial Day, only at Hy-Vee.
Let the summer fun begin this week at Hy-Vee. Just 5 days to save big on everything you need for the perfect Memorial Day. Load up the grill with tender Hy-Vee pork ribs, just $2.97 a pound. Throw on some Oscar Mayer hot dogs for the kids, just $1.77. Add party-size Frito-Lay chips, $3.99. Ice-cold Pepsi 6-packs, $2.99. And get the party started. Stock up on all your summertime favorites this Wednesday through Sunday, only at Hy-Vee.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Your life, your goals, your legacy. With a dedicated Fidelity advisor, it's all part of a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Visit fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka in Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories. And the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the Cave or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Collisions across the metro. Looking on the east side, southbound 435 at the on-ramp from Front Street. That is stopping traffic. And a two-car crash eastbound 670 just before the Paseo. That is on the right shoulder, but seeing slowdowns there. I'm Lori Pearson, 96.5 The Fan Traffic.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
My name is Carrington. Rob is here. You're listening to The Drive. I know you guys get mad when we talk about the NBA, but, I mean, it is the NBA playoffs, so I think you guys can understand. There are 4 superstars that are left in the NBA Finals, and none of them have a championship. Which of these guys would you most like to see win a ring? Would you like to see Anthony Edwards for the Minnesota Timberwolves? Would you like to see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander for the Oklahoma City Thunder? How about in the Eastern Conference? You got Jalen Brunson, a college star who has turned out to be a very, very good and productive NBA player. Or Tyrese Halliburton, played here in the Big 12, went to Iowa State. Rob, let me ask you this question. Who are you rooting for? Who do you want to see win a championship this year? Because I'm cheering for the Knicks. It would be fun to see them win a championship. We have seen a lot of cool things in our sports fandom. We saw the Cubs win the World Series. We saw the Red Sox win the World Series. We've seen the Royals win the World Series. We almost saw the Lions go to the Super Bowl. We've seen a lot of cool things. I want to see what's going to happen in New York City if the Knicks win the championship. I just want to see. I mean, if that's how they acted and carried themselves after winning in the second round against the Boston Celtics, can you imagine if they go all the way? Can you imagine if they win this series and they go to the NBA Finals? I think they're going to the NBA Finals. I'm cheering for the Knicks. I'm adopting the Knicks for the next month of the NBA season. Who you got?
Well, I can't in good conscience cheer for Jalen Brunson to win another title. It happened once in college. It made me sick to my stomach. I didn't like it. It was a miserable experience. 0 of 10 stars, would not recommend. So he's out. He's not on it. I am fascinated by how New York handles it, but having New York be sad makes me happier. So that's
crazy.
For that reason, New York is out. Number 2, I actually have no problem with the Wolves. The Wolves and Anthony Edwards, that would be fun. I got no beef with anyone on their team. I guess maybe a little bit Rudy Gobert because he was chirping before the Olympics, but he got what was coming. I have no problem with Anthony Edwards getting his first ring. So those two, all right, they're okay. Then Pacers, no. Tyrese Halliburton, I do not want Tyrese Halliburton and co., who just eliminated the 1 seed, the team I pull for, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the East, to win a title. No thanks, lose. If the Knicks and Pacers could both lose to each other, I would cheer for that. They can't. So that leaves me with Oklahoma City. I would have no problem if SGA got his first title. I think it would be a fun story. I know he's playing his cousin in this series. That would be fun. Oklahoma City, while not as big or as exciting as Kansas City, is basically the RC Cola version of Kansas City. To see them win an NBA championship would be kind of cool as their one pro sport. So I think I'm pulling for Oklahoma City and SGA of that group.
Yeah, y'all can have it. I mean, I like Oklahoma City. I've been down there a handful of times. I've been to their arena to watch an NBA game. It's fun. I just want to see the Knicks win. I want to see Jalen Brunson. I like all the celebrities on the sideline. I like when they show the former Knicks in attendance. I like seeing, John Starks and Larry Johnson and Stephon Marbury on the sideline. I like seeing Timothée Chalamet enjoying a little NBA basketball. I'm with it. I'm all in at this point with the Knicks. I'm cheering for them. If they win the championship, it'll be like I won the championship. That's who I'm cheering for. So I want to see Jalen Brunson. I think it's going to be the Knicks and the Timberwolves. That's what I placed a small wager on.
You keep betting against the Thunder. You've been against.
Did you watch that last series against the Nuggets, who have 2 good players on their team?
You mean the one
they struggled?
They had to play the best player on planet Earth.
Yeah, and now they're going up against the best player left in the playoffs, which is Anthony Edwards, who I actually think they're going to win tonight. I think they're going to steal game 1. I think they're going on the road to steal game 1. I think they're rested. I think they're ready to go. I also think they got enough size to neutralize Chet Holmgren. I think they're winning, man. They played 4 times in the regular season. It was tied 2 apiece. So I think we're locked in for a great series. I think it's going to be a really, really fun, good series between those two teams. You got the Royals tonight?
I do. I got the Royals tonight. We'll go win a series. Day game tomorrow for a sweep.
Am I going to see you tomorrow?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I don't think so. I'm not planning on coming up here tomorrow, but I mean, I can if you need me to. I'm actually hanging out with Aaron Ladd tomorrow. He is back in town. He says that he came in town to hang out with me. I don't know if I believe him or not, but that's what he told
Aaron
me.
Ladd, so
I'm just telling you what he told me, brother. I can only tell you what he told me, brother. I had a lot of fun today. Hopefully you guys had a lot of fun today. I'll catch up with you guys on Thursday. The Royals play tomorrow at 2:30, so I will not be here. Take care of yourself. It's The Drive.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember Mike Scott.